Constantly battling low energy, cravings, weight control, watching your health slip away? Listen up! There's a simple daily protocol they don't want you to know about that's helping people ditch their meds and reclaim their health. Up to 88% of Americans potentially suffer from some degree of insulin resistance. The Feel Great protocol is a simple two-step daily system designed to help your body work with you, not against you. Step 1. Unimate, a powerful yerba mate extract clinically shown to boost mood, increase mental clarity, and support fat burning. Step 2. A patented fiber matrix called Balance. Taken before meals, it helps regulate blood sugar, curb cravings, and support healthy insulin response. That's it. No crazy diets, no meds, just science-backed support your body actually understands. Feel Great is perfect for you if you have low energy, weight control, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, poor sleep, diabetes, snacking, sugar cravings, gut health, systemic inflammation. This isn't a trend, it's a transformation. Start today to reclaim your health with the Feel Great protocol.
Efforts are centered on maintaining alignment across relevant departments while preserving optionality as conditions.
Mr. President, we have a problem. U.S. authorities are investigating device thrown near Gracie Mansion.
What kind of device? Like an explosive?
2 in custody after suspicious device lit outside Gracie Mansion amid anti-Islam protest.
So the anti-Islam protesters lit a bomb?
I'm just conveying the news. These are actual news headlines, and they're quite clear, Mr. President.
I still don't know what the device is, or who did it, or why.
Let me clarify, sir. Explosive at NYC protest near Gracie Mansion posed serious risk. Police say.
Okay, now we're getting somewhere.
Exactly. Homemade bomb thrown at protest near NYC mayor's house. Police say.
So the protesters threw the bomb?
Device hurled near NYC mayor's mansion was an IED that could have caused serious injury or death.
That's terrible, but you basically already said that. Who perpetrated the attack?
Well, police arrested several people after a smoke-generating suspicious device was thrown during a protest at Gracie Mansion.
So it wasn't a bomb? Look, never mind. Who did it?
One of the articles said they were Pennsylvania men, sir.
And?
They're from Bucks County.
I don't care where they lived. Who are they?
Their names are Mayor Ibrahim.
What? Speak up, son. I'm the President of the United States of America.
I said Emir and Ibrahim.
Oh, you could just live with that. Explains everything. Honestly, I should have known it was Muslims. My fault, really. Is that an update? What does it say?
Media forgets to mention that NYC bombers were Muslims inspired by ISIS. Politicians blame white supremacy.
Well, next time, just read me news from that site.
They're fake news, sir.
Oh.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Table of Titans. It is Thursday again. We're back with Save America from itself, from the bad Democrats, maybe our own team itself that seems to be throwing each other underneath the bus. There is so much going on. We got terrorism attacks. We still got bombs raining down all over the place in the Mideast. We got oil changes over here. And there seems to be a little secret deal with some voting stuff going down in Arizona that we want to get to as we build onto that RICO case. I got so much to cover. I got a full team today. I got Rdoc, Tron, and Mr. Space Shot with me. Mr. Rdoc, what is going on? We missed you last week, sir.
Oh, there we go. Sorry, I'm back. I climbed back up the stairs. Sorry. So you guys had a time change when you called. I thought we were an hour ahead of time, but no, it is time for the show, and I am ready. Actually, you are ready. Yeah. Sorry. Last week I fell asleep like an hour and a half before when we were talking, an hour and a half before the show, and I woke up like an hour and a half into the show, and I'm like, screw it. So I just went back to sleep. Actually, no, I played some Mark Raiders. Yeah, no, well, it changes for you guys, but not for us here, I think, until next weekend. I'm not sure. I have to check the calendar. But yeah, so I missed you guys. It's probably better that I didn't come on because people would be bitching that Rdoc is all angry that we're fighting in Iran, and they would be right because, well, we'll get into that as we cover some stories today that Hulk has in the shuffle. And but other than that, yeah, everything's going good. I did get some good rest last weekend, and this weekend I plan to get some more. So springtime is in the air, as well as some other interesting things going on around the world. we'll get into all that later. Napalm, burn it all. No.
Before we get there, Mr. Tron, how you doing, sir?
Again, everything almost seems like it's happening at once. And again, midterms is approaching. They can't get bossed on the Epstein files. They can't get bossed on this and in that. So false flag season is upon us. We had, 2 today? And thankfully, it was clean and swift. It was, again, the brown people. But how many of these people did Sleepy Joe led across the border over these last 4+ years, preparing for the invasion? And infiltration instead of invasion happens both ways. So we're going to continue to pray for no more false flags and also continue to pray for boss as, again, we're heading into this midterms and they will attempt everything and anything to stop boss from completing America First and Save America, the plan that started many years ago. And we need to see justice in America and, most importantly, our voting. If our vote doesn't count, we have a problem. And when Chucky Schumer's out there talking about, they're trying to clean up the voter registration, we're making waves. We're doing good. So hat tip to all of us. And I like to watch the destruction of the old guard. It's fascinating and it's rewarding. Hit that thumbs up and let's boom.
And we are going to make fun of it the entire time because then you'll remember it. Mr. Space Shot.
Yes, sir. Hopefully everybody is okay on my side of the stream. I had one of those weird buzzing things that happened, so I think everything caught up to the action. But thank you guys all for tuning in. And yes, we have an absolute boatload of stuff to handle and topics to discuss as well. We always want to thank Country and the folks over there for simulcasting Liberty-based news with us. And of course, the wonderful mods that we do appreciate their help so greatly. And you guys for always tuning in with us on these Thursdays. So glad you guys could hang in there with us. We do appreciate that. And back to you, Mr. Hulkinator.
Yep. So I got something for everybody to kind of ponder on because I saw it across the internet. We might as well take a look at it now. Tron, what do you think? Do you think we're right here? Right in the middle?
Baby. Yes, we are one time. We are right there in the middle. That is in Idiocracy, Matrix, and Terminator. All great movies. And I'm rooting for the Matrix and the Terminator. We are sort of exposing the simulation in real time, and this is what it's all about, guys. Again, Terminator and John Connor, guys. Butterfly effect. What if? And this is why power in numbers. We stay together. We continue to march together, and we're going to be okay. This is the largest psychological operation in human history, and I think we're doing okay. After pandemic, now we have to have some justice. But I'll tell you what, if you wanted to just show it right there, there it is right there, guys. All 3 in 1.
Yeah, you guys got any comments you want to throw out there? Because it seems like the Matrix is fighting back, and I keep looking over at the crazy people on the left over there and wondering, are they really that stupid or am I that smart? I don't know which one it is. Maybe we're all dumb. And then, of course, everybody's talking about AI and the future's coming and, we're going to get rid of all these jobs and whatnot. So, yeah, Terminator's coming, and I don't know where to put it all, but that's where we're kind of sitting there. So I just wanted to throw that.
Is Idiocracy the one where that guy goes he gets frozen and he goes he's in the future? Yes. Oh my God. Okay.
The funny thing about that whole movie is they wanted to pick a pair of shoes that they thought were so lame and dumb that they thought nobody would ever buy them. So they ordered a shitload of Crocs. And guess what?
That's great.
I have 3 pair.
Yeah, that's where we wanted to put it.
0.
So, yeah, we're circling the toilet bowl of humanity. Let's see what we're going to get into. And we're going to start off with some of these out here. If anybody remembers this great gentleman from great acts of being over there at January 6th and doing a whole bunch of other great stuff over there of doing their so-called reporting out here, he just happens to be right at the same time the other guy's throwing bombs over his head.
We were born and raised in New York, and we want everyone here to stay in New York. You don't get to come from outside and then tell everyone else.
So the device didn't go off. Evidently, they didn't read the directions well enough. And we got 2 people out of this one that were instigating this particular thing. As you could see, he's just a regular, normal white man, right? He just, that's a Bible up there in his hand. That's the way the news was playing it, because it's white supremacy out there, and they're aggravating the Muslims that were out there.
But his pants.
It was the color.
You got those funny little parachute pants. What were those pants that he was wearing? Can you scroll back just a little bit when he ran away? There.
I don't know about your pants. Yeah.
Look at those pants. Look at those pants.
Windbreaker pants. Oh, before you go off this page, just click on his. Don't click on it. Just hover over his icon for a second. What does that say underneath his name?
Comedian.
So I was like, wait, was this like something that they want to do, like a viral thing? It would be funny, whatever. And then they turned it into something, you know what I mean, to make it look like something it wasn't. Or do they just do this stuff all the time? I don't know.
I know him being over there, the January 6th thing's all over videos, and he didn't get prosecuted. That's all I'm saying. That's the crazy part. So we got these guys out there. They're throwing bombs all over the place. They had 2 of these out there. And these are 2 guys right here. They're 18 and 19. Anybody want to take it's Amir and I don't even know how to say it. Abraham?
Ibrahim. It is Abraham, yes.
Yeah.
So they are naturalized citizens over here. I don't know which one, but one of these 2 family members over here has a really nice house. So $2.5 million house, trust fund type kid, has plenty of money, 9 other locations where the family owns and operates out of. I didn't dig into what they were actually into or whatnot. I didn't have time to check into that, but they are denoting the one of the gentlemen without the crazy hairs has rich family. So yeah, it seems like these trust fund babies are trying to fight back against the machine, but everybody's getting smacked down. Because we don't put up with this sort of thing here in America itself. This is not a game when these people are labeled terrorists and doing terrorist act. And just imagine if that bomb went off that had screws and bolts and nuts and everything in there, kind of like the Boston bombing, if everybody remembers that. That's who this gentleman was trying to endorse and do that bigger attack than that.
Radicalization can occur much easier now. They don't have to go to the mosques. They can do it online.
Yep. That is another thing. Comments from anybody?
You got the rich family or the oppressed people doesn't really work too well in this case, though, right? Because they're obviously well off. So then I kind of think like, wait, is it just a family that's well off, or are they funded?
Yeah, exactly. We don't know. And where do they come up with all this seed money in the very beginning? I can't remember. I think it's fast food or something like that. The family was into
Popeye's chicken, friends.
Yeah, Popeye's chicken, plus some other stuff that's out there. So
love that chicken from. Sorry,
we're not doing commercials out there. Where else we don't got? Natural citizens of Afghanistan who fled the war-torn country, seeking safety and opportunity in America. This is how the sun repays the country, and blah blah blah. Because they all got radicalized, throwing bombs around. So this went off pretty quick. This is supposedly out in front of the Mayor Mandami's residence where he stays, if I remember correctly.
You took me away, Daddy, from my career as a Bakubazi.
You're so wrong, Mr. Rdoc. We did have another shooting also where this Dominion over here at the old Dominion College decided to load up a vehicle with explosives and guns and drive through the front of the school and try to jump out. I've heard 2 stories where the security guard had taken care of this one. I've also heard a story last night that it was a reservist, ROTC, Army dude or whatever, jumped out and then slit this guy's throat or stabbed him, is what I'm hearing on this side. So there's 2 stories that are going back and forth, but people are noticing that there was a somebody who helped in this particular deal that happened today.
Wait. It says here that the shooter was the former Army National Guardsman.
Yeah. He is a reservist, yes. This guy is a former one, but I'm hearing from the area that he's at that somebody came over and stabbed this guy, is what I'm hearing from the location that was out there. So I'm still waiting for that story to come out. But again, another naturalized citizen, that's in here inside of America and reaping the benefits that's being offered to him. And these are some of the things that they repay us back and he wanted to support material support to ISIS. So he's been talked to before over here. So if anybody wants to read the first top up here, because this guy's been talked to before. Space shot?
Yeah, and I would say, dude, anybody that has a history like that, kick their ass out. He says, since I first came to the United States, I've loved this country deeply for saving me and my family and for giving me so many opportunities that I would not have otherwise. I always felt a desire to give back. So not long after I started college at Old Dominion, I joined the Virginia National Guard as a way of contributing and helping protect this great country and see it prosper. Since I was young, I've been inspired by seeing soldiers in uniform and believed in the noble purpose of the military. I wanted to be part of that and give back. I wanted to be a good soldier and make my family proud. Wow. How proud do you think they are today?
This guy, back when 2016, when he got busted back there, his girlfriend broke up with him and then sent him a video with, obviously having sex with another man, and he kind of freaked out, and then the FBI and everybody got involved in here. So that's where this story comes from in the very beginning. And then if you go look through this, the confidential handler said, "Hey, we can get you a Muslim wife. Let's work together." Just saying. Those are some of the things that are coming out in the testimony that is there. And local authorities did say this gentleman did say Allahu Akbar before opening fire on students. So he was subdued by heroic Army ROTC cadets. So that's where I'm getting that they basically beat him up and stabbed him, killed him right there. Some people are saying it's the security guard that shot him. So we're going back and forth and seeing exactly what had happened. But yeah, another naturalized citizen, guys. So I don't know where to put it.
Maybe that's what the shots fired was, because initial reporting, he slammed into the thing, there was shooting, but then also John Solomon 15 minutes after that said, oh wait, he died in the car in the explosion. So a lot of really weird questions, which we see a lot during these scenarios. No
explosion in the car, smoke, maybe some fire at the most, but there was no actual explosion itself, is what a lot of these people are saying over here. Suspect's vehicle ignited, causing a fire. And then rammed the truck through the doors, is what they're saying. Sorry?
A what? A fire?
Ignited, causing a fire. So no explosion or anything, no bomb. There was no shrapnel or anything like that. So they screwed it up like the first guys.
So basically, he hit something, fuel line broke, started a fire in the engine compartment. He got out, started shooting. These guys ran and tackled him, killed him, whatever.
Exactly. So now NYPD cops are livid at Mayor Mondami. Instead of honoring the two-star chief who leaped the barricades and tackled the ISIS-inspired bomber, the guy who was running with the parachute pants out there, he decided to host a Palestinian activist, Mohammed Khalil, for Ramadan dinner. So not backing up any of his the PD or anything, just still continuing on and playing Muslim hosts out there and doing the prayer rug and all that stuff on the same day that these two attacks did happen in the local area. So we're seeing what's going on locally there, huh? I don't know where to put it anymore. And then out here in California, these were the Matt's talking about how they found the explosive residue. Therefore, they conducted a controlled detonation. They said the jihadists used TATP, which I don't know what it is, and they had to mix it dry, and there's some sort of thing. The guy's explaining how it puts it together, but neither one of these bombs exploded. So I'm wondering where they're actually getting their information from, because it's not from the Anakar's cookbook, right? I mean, I'm not sure what ChatGPT is telling everybody out there, but just you got to be wary of some of these things that are coming out there, because see something, say something. We've been around long enough and seeing how these operations work that eventually they could get one of these to work and operate, especially when they start talking about California and drones, which we'll get to in a second. This is also happening in California. I want to throw just a minute out on this one.
In Southern California, the feds were moving in to arrest a man on charges of supporting the terror group ISIS when they found what appears to be a homemade bomb in his home in Long Beach. Marianne Rafferty, live in Los Angeles with more on that story. Marianne.
Yeah, good afternoon, John. A shocking discovery as federal investigators were arresting a suspected ISIS operative, a homemade explosive device found inside his Long Beach, California home. According to federal authorities, the bomb was found during the arrest of a man accused of sending 12 electronic payments to ISIS and traveling overseas to fight for the terrorist group. FBI investigators.
So yeah, more
There's
ISIS and spare.
There's something that doesn't make sense in this stuff. Okay, just so you can be aware, Shia Muslims and ISIS do not go together. Shias are persecuted by ISIS. ISIS does not like Shias. The Iranians don't like ISIS. ISIS is Islamic State in Syria, and they were isolated, destroyed, pretty much between the Kurds and Assad's troops and the Iranian
Trump, right?
troops. Well, no, they fought with us. They fought with us. They assisted us technically in fighting the Syrian government. Okay, so it's a weird situation over there with regards to ISIS. So all these attacks being attributed to ISIS when Iran is this does not go together as far as being funded and operated by Iran. I'm just telling you this right now.
Yeah, so the hashtag is ISIS is what we're alluding to itself. We don't know. That name could be just used by the media itself to attract attention to different direction, is what you're saying, possibly?
Well, it's like everybody knows and hates ISIS, so they're throwing ISIS in there, and maybe it is ISIS, but this is something that people should just understand as general knowledge. ISIS and Shia Muslims do not go together.
There you go. A little history in there for you, too. Ran by this here, Moody's rating revised New York City's credit rating from negative to stable because these sizable and persistent projected budget gaps related to high spending and projections. The city's being forced to raid reserves, pension funds, and all that sort of thing. So, yeah, they got re-rated there, so they're starting to crash out a little bit as Mondami doesn't hold on to any of his promises because there's no money left over. So that's happening out there. And then another quick story about, go ahead.
Just really quick. Doesn't that mean better, though? Aren't they? So I don't know how this stuff works here, but they revised their outlook from negative to stable. So am I reading that right?
They're still negative. They're just stable.
Yeah. No, I'm saying, like, in the face of all his negative BS, it seems like they upgraded their rating a little bit. I don't know if I'm reading that right or not, like negative to stable, but still, like, even if they're upgrading it, it's like, how could you?
I'm sorry, no, it's the other way. Rating to negative from stable.
Okay,
sorry,
we're normal. That makes sense, because I thought they were doing like the Jerome Powell to President Trump. Oh, Biden, all right, we'll drop rates. You know what I mean? That type of deal.
So
they have a lot of debt. New York City debt is something that a lot of investors do invest in because they just have a lot of it and they cycle it around a lot. Just to go back, on that previous story you ran about Mondami, and he was being criticized for having dinner with Khalil, or whatever that guy's name was, Muhammad Khalil or something. Ramadan is a big deal in the Islamic community, and it goes from February 18th and ends on March 20th with Eid al-Fitr. And just to understand, you plan out Ramadan. It's a big deal. You have certain times when you got to pray. There's a lot of fasting. There's certain things you can and can't eat, and you have certain meals that everybody comes together, and it's a big celebration. So the fact that he has a celebration with a Muslim during Ramadan is not itself unusual, and he is Muslim. It's expected. It's part of his culture. Okay, so I just wanted to throw that out there because a lot of people just do not know. And having been in Dubai, in the United Arab Emirates, and celebrating it and meeting with people, it is a very, very important thing for them. It's like their holy days, and the fact that we are attacking during Ramadan, that's a big thing too in and of itself. Just so you can understand, it's like being attacked during Christmas, specifically because it's Christmas.
Yeah, exactly.
Same with UFC fighters, Hulk, same thing. They take off a couple of months for Ramadan as well. So it is a huge thing.
Yeah. So let's check in with the other promise that he have about free buses. Did you guys see this? Here, this is their free buses right here.
Is that? Yeah, I heard that's real. What
that is a real photo.
Like, what kind of vehicle do you transfer those to? I don't get what you're stealing.
That's a maglev. What are you talking about? That's high-tech maglev. What?
They supposedly stole the tires or whatever. I don't even see a front axle there anymore to even put a tire on. So what the hell they take? Even though AI says it's real.
Oh, it's like my cousin Vinny, dude, when they left his car out there with him, just like that.
Where we're going, we don't need wheels and axles.
Exactly. Where's the lift system on there in the freaking pour the beer and the banana in the back of the, what is it, the Mr. Blender or whatever it was? I can't even remember anymore.
My tailpipe.
So that's going on there. What else do we got here? Okay, so this came out over here, which was more of a warning coming out. FBI warned the police departments in California that Iran may want to retaliate for American attacks by launching offensive drones against the West Coast, according to alert reviewed by ABC News. And basically everybody went with this, and they're saying, we kind of let you know it's unvetted. There might be, so something you might want to pay attention to, that whole see something, say something. And then basically the news media went in there like it was nuclear war and California is going to get wiped off the map. I'm still here.
So there are, so there's some more details on this that have come out today, that evidently Iran does have twin body long range drones that can be launched from offshore. So the speculation is that you could have Iranian cells that may be in Canada or maybe in the US that can go offshore and launch these from quite a distance away or something. But you're not going to have something going across the Pacific now.
So I just wanted to throw this out. This is our data analytics guy from the ad stuff, where he's talking about a German system which has a 1,500 to 2,000 kilometer, just to kind of give you
this is Iran. This is the Garan 2 drone. This is the new Garan 3 is what Russia's using now mostly, but Garan 2, which was taken from the Iranian Shahid drone design. Garan 2 can travel a long distance, but these aren't what are used for long range attacks. They use fixed wing aircraft that don't look like Delta darts. These are more used for short range. They don't carry enough explosives to do tremendous damage, but they're using them in the Middle East very effectively.
Yeah, but at the tune of thousands of these flying in the sky would do considerable damage out there, that we're hearing they have them in numbers. So just kind of give you some visual of how far this stuff could go. I'm not saying Havana or Cuba has any of this stuff, to be honest with you.
It doesn't matter. They can bring them into the U.S. They can assemble them in the U.S. They're easy to build, easy to craft. They got little moped motors. They're easy to build.
Yeah, maybe we buy those ones back from Ukraine that we built in Texas.
It's interesting you're saying that, because what we have done is we are actually bringing Ukrainians units, drone units, FPV drone units too, to the Middle East to teach how to do both FPV drones, which are used in close quarters combat, which means foothold, as well as the long range anti-drone defense type stuff. So yeah.
So just throwing that out there. Both Levitz and the administration both came out and said all that is fake news, and you guys are just stoking the fire. So that's going on out there. And again, like we had mentioned, that they're the Iranian terror cells that are here in America. We've seen some of them come across the border, and the people talk on camera saying that they're going to do death to America, and then we got Trump saying stuff like this.
They try to hit us back. Have you been briefed about how many Iran sleeper cells there could be inside the U.S. right now?
I have been, and a lot of people came in through Biden with this stupid open border. But we know where most of them are. We've got our eye on all of them, I think.
Is it dozens?
They came in through the open border policies of Sleepy Joe Biden, one of the worst president in the history of our country. And we've got our eyes on all of them. But the war itself is being prosecuted at a level that nobody's seen before. It's pretty amazing.
So why don't we go pick up most of them?
Yeah, that's my question.
How do you know we
where
did it,
they're
though?
at?
I mean, right? You think Donald Trump's going to tell you to be safe and everything's okay? Like, I mean, this is how it is. And
this is rhetoric. It's rhetoric.
And the best part is that, these recent false flag events, it was clean, it was swift. And again, the hand of God is always in the mix of this. But, as we go towards Iran and, quote unquote, free the people of Iran and hopefully getting in there before Israel got to there. But again, boss reiterating that we may have the infiltration. It is a Sleepy Joe's administration. And I think that having our troops out on the streets early prepared not only us, but them. The National Guardsmen and as all those characters to take on whatever's going to be at our foot, at our door the next time. But again, de-escalation, I think we're going to be okay. And And the drones, too, off the coast of California there, Hulk. They can't go across the Pacific. We know that. But at the same time, what is that going to actually accomplish only for California? We're going to see this in, New York with the bombs there from the Afghanis, and then also California, maybe New York, Minnesota, and we saw Dearborn, Michigan. So, again, narrowing in on these purple states as we approach the election is going to be very, very important. So stay safe and always head on a swivel, right?
What the thing
Just going to make California gas prices higher. Go ahead.
Is okay. We need to see, where is Kash Patel? Where are the guys? Where are the arrests happening? If we've known where they're at for a long time, because we heard this back during the first administration when we on this show were talking about the cells down in Texas. You remember the deal where they had the women that were being abused in that one place and the kids and stuff like that. And we covered all that stuff. Okay. And my sister is talking with Border Patrol guys back then that she's interviewing the children that are being brought across the border that are coming from some of these camps. Okay. And so we know where they're at. Why are we allowing them to exist then and now? There's an issue here, and part of it's due process, and part of it is something else.
Yeah, that something else is pretty big. Yeah, I'm still waiting for that. I'm not sure exactly. Comments from anybody?
I think.
Well, just remember too when we had, I think they mapped it. We were told in the drops that they mapped Antifa, and I know that's a different situation than this. And I think it was during the ass end of Biden, maybe towards the middle or towards the end of Biden's administration. Remember, they always had those nuclear sniffers out. Like there was a long stretch of time when they had those sniffers going on for a very long time. So they're watching for sure.
Yeah,
absolutely,
exactly.
Wizards and warlocks.
Here, let's get the secret weapon out here.
We have weapons that nobody knows about, and I say it's probably good not to talk about them, but we have some amazing weapons.
I thought it was funny. Anyways, we're just going to make fun on it about Tyran and the rest of the stuff that is going in there. Anybody needs Godzilla, he's looking for a little bit of work.
Maybe some of Fauci's creations, with some of the weird stuff they'd be doing there. Never know.
Yeah. So, Tron,
it's the lizard people.
Yeah, there you go. Tron, ran by this. What do you think?
Oh, I don't know. We haven't seen this before, guys. In case you missed it, for all you panicans out there, Patriots are in control, and there's an old school dude with a mustache. How fantastic is that?
Mustache.
Absolutely love it. And coming from the White House. Yeah,
I thought he's Arabic. An Arabic guy flying an F-16.
No, he's Portuguese American. He's from the CBN 78. Fantastic from the White House. Love seeing it.
Oh my God!
What's the patch? Is that Canada? No, just kidding.
No,
it's
War Party.
I know what it is.
War Party 87.
VFA 87.
Yeah,
and that's how many Tron of those type of things from DOD.
It's got to be 6 or 7, and. Well, and the funny thing is, guys, like, what was it, like 8 years ago or something? Danny Scavs, 6 years ago. Actually, no, 8. Holy cow. He dropped that "Nothing Can Stop What Is Coming" meme with Boss with the violin. And it matches up on a delta of this. So, like, back then we were so excited that, Dan tweeted that, and then all of a sudden Boss picked it up after that. Who knows what this means, but someone does. And that we were so ecstatic back then. And now it's like, all right, you can't really impress us, White House. Come on, let's go. We have 2.5 years, 3 years, whatever's left. 2028, Boss wants to lay out on Mar-a-Lago and spend some time with Melania. Let's get the show rolling. So this is fun. This is cute. And we'll keep it coming, man.
Show me the baby. I'm ready.
Yeah.
Wonder why they didn't put the word "now" in there.
Yeah, that's the panic. The acronym for panic, it was Patriots are now in control. You're right. Yep.
Yeah,
maybe
that's right.
Later.
That's right. Here, wanted to throw this out there. We're not going to play this video here. We can play a little bit of it, but this was going over the technology used in that sonic weapon that they used over in Venezuela, and it talks about different hertz ratings and the amount of power they put out there. And then how much does it take to actually make blood come out of your nose like that? Pretty interesting little hardware and stuff that's going on out there. I'll drop the link out there for everybody a little bit later. I just thought it was very interesting how they hang these little sonic weapons and make the people basically incapacitated. The discombobulator.
What was that video like from years ago, Doc, or Space Shot? The video, the black and white of that heart attack gun they had way back in the day, just from frequencies and whatnot. So imagine what can happen now. I mean, we don't even see it, but now we're seeing this, and they've had this for so many years. But man, imagine being hit by this. What does that feel like?
That's the new weapon that we're being deployed in the Middle East right now, which is a microwave.
It is a microwave weapon itself. All it does is raise the temperature of the brain fluid, the water around it, by basically 1 degree, and also in the inner ear, and then it basically makes you totally sick and incapacitated. And if they turn it up more, then you start basically puking up blood from your nasal cavities and all that stuff. Fun jazz.
Yeah, but the microwave weapon I'm talking about is an anti-drone weapon that we're now going to be testing out. It's very new. And they're going to be putting it into the zone of operation because they're running out of interceptors, and so they have to put something out there. And this thing can drop hundreds of drones within like a quarter mile or a mile, so pretty effective in close distance, but not over long range.
Without a big
exact
and Hulk too.
Historically don't work.
No, I know, I'm just busted, but historically too, they've had ones that will make your skin feel like it's burning, high-pitched noises, makes you basically run out of that area that they've used for crowd control. And this is like this on another level, apparently.
Yep.
So what did Trump have to say about the whole situation?
No, I don't want to brag, but they've said this about a lot of things. No other president can do some of this shit I'm doing. No other president. The things I'm doing, nobody else was going to do it. They say it all the time. Sir, could you do this? You're the only one can do it. No, I don't want to brag. But
Ingersoll
they've said
vibes.
this about a lot of things. No other president can do some of this shit I'm doing.
Yep, the last president. And it's true, guys. Boss is setting precedences. If you want to learn about aliens, you want to learn about biblicalness, this is the time to be alive. And the fact that we're participating in it is an absolute blessing. So pat yourselves on the back. And we are so fortunate to have Donald Trump as the creator of this awakening here.
Exactly. What else do we got?
I don't want to brag, but I'm gonna.
Yeah, throw some roses.
Obviously all the left-wing deal. I don't know what you guys heard about the left-wing media coming out talking about the war that's currently going on and the issues it's having and how they're focusing on the children in the school that didn't get blown up because they're going back and looking that there wasn't a school there. Bunch of interesting things. I don't know where to pull the truth because you got one side, shouting at the wind saying, we're winning, and the other side saying, hey, you guys are screwing everything up and gas is costing more. So where do you guys put it right in the middle? Where do you guys think?
Anyone that yells death to America, whether it's 10 years ago, 15 years ago, or last week, we're coming for you. And this is what this president is putting his foot down on. We're not messing around anymore. We're not going to, beat around the bush. We're going to hit it hard. We're going to do it quick. And it might take, a week or two or what, but that military industrial complex is done. And that's what I'm so happy about. We can't have these never ending wars, Afghanistan, Iraq, Gulf War, all that stuff. Even Colin Powell's wondering what, how we can help in this Iran war. We don't want that anymore, guys. So this is fantastic that we can explain it in a positive way. And we don't want to see anyone get hurt, obviously. So strategically, this has been pretty good so far. I mean, 40 in the first day, another 40 later on. And then once the other guy comes up, we take him right out. So the confidence level is high. We have our allies on the side. EU is basically shitting their pants right now, waiting to get their hands in on this. And hopefully clean and swift, man. So no more nukes, no more death to America. We're coming for you. We don't care what color you are. We're coming.
I heard Lindsey. Wait.
You just heard the propaganda wing of the channel. When you want reality, let me know.
Well, I was going to make the joke
Your
about
reality, Doc. I don't know where you've been lately, buddy, but you got to come back to America and experience greatness, baby. Come on.
But the one thing we do know for sure is Lindsey Graham is rolling around with a big stiffy right now because he's happy, right?
He is freaking. Although he wants to go and attack Cuba now. Now he wants to turn on Cuba, and now talking about Turkey, and Oh my God, everybody else.
What I say a couple of weeks ago, Rdoc. Remember our little
That's right.
conversation? It will
Yeah,
never
yeah,
be
yeah.
enough for Israel. And guess what? They're gonna push buttons. And guess what? They're already trying to like move people out of what is it, Lebanon now? So yeah, it's coming for sure.
Here,
They hit Gaza again.
Let's throw out some AI here really quick here because it showed up and I definitely have to share it with you guys.
But here's one point you got to make though. The administration has political considerations it has to take into account. In addition to prosecuting something that is on a scale of 10 times bigger than Iraq, potentially, they have to make sure that as they go politically into the changing things that are happening on the ground, the reality that this didn't end in 3 days, that this is going to take 3, 4, 5 weeks, that the media is picking apart, where's the plan, what's the objective, because that's what the media is doing right now. The White House has to go into political spin mode. That is expected. That is the way the White House works. They have a PR team, a communications team specifically dedicated. So when he goes on these rallies and he goes, we won, and he does his little hand gesture, how about that military? Everybody's going to stand up and clap because everybody loves the military. We support our military. We love our country, okay? The reality on the ground is more difficult than that. And that's something that we have to make sure that as Americans, we don't just make off the cuff decisions, that we have plans, we have support, we have coalition, we have support, and that we have a rational objective so we don't end up in a forever war, because that's what the military industrial complex absolutely loves.
But that would be under the assumption that Trump is just some moron shooting from the hip, which I think I think he's deserved a little bit more credit than that. And we've seen this playbook on repeat for how long? A couple of months ago. Oh shit. No, he did it. He turned his back. He just went and bombed Iran. Oh, and then 2 weeks after that, it's like, oh yeah, he didn't turn his back on it. So I think this is one of those points in time when people need to kind of let the 48-hour, 72-hour rule kind of come to grips.
Still got some time for it.
$11.1 billion in the first 6 days, asterisk, okay, not including certain aspects of the operation. We're 12 days in. We're now looking at months. We haven't even touched the eastern or northeastern part of Iran. They just now started attacking with drones, marine drones in Iraq, testing out their operations. They're practicing on the Iraqi ports as they get ready. They have thousands of these underground bunkers all along the coastline, okay, that we don't even know where they're at, okay? The ballistic missiles are still firing. We didn't destroy them. The IRGC military
I think all of that is a very...
Oops, sorry. I didn't. The thing clipped through. Go ahead. I didn't mean to step over you.
The leader that we killed, okay, he was moderate. Just so people can understand, okay, this is not political PR. This is who he is. He was a moderate that some people in Iran did not like because he was too accommodating. They said he should be attacking his neighbors. He issued a fatwa, that's a religious edict, that says Iran cannot pursue nuclear weapons. That's a fatwa from the high cleric of their faith and the supreme leader of Iran, okay, over the government, technically. And to avoid that fatwa, to ignore that fatwa means death. You can be killed. You can be imprisoned and killed. Okay. So now he's dead. And the guy that's in charge, the new supreme leader that the clerics that we said we killed, which we didn't kill because they met remotely, they elected the son who just watched his wife, his daughter, his uncle, and his father be killed. And this guy is hardline. And he's now saying, No, we're not going to talk about a ceasefire. We're not going to come to the negotiating table. You attack us, you hit our banks, you hit our electrical system. We're going to do the same thing all over the Middle East. No oil through the Strait of Hormuz. No, we're not going to stop just because you want to talk. We're not going to fall for that crap again. You did this to us 2 times in a row while we're negotiating, while we're making concessions, while the Omani representatives that were there said they just made a huge concession. They didn't threaten making nuclear weapons like Witkoff said. Okay. This is something that should not have happened. And that's my assessment, mine, based on the information I have. Okay. Trump may have a lot more details and a lot more information, or he may have a lot less, or he may have people telling him crap that is deep state shit. Okay. But all I know is that this one, from what I can hear from my people that I'm talking to in the UAE almost daily, this one didn't have to happen. It's a fucking mess.
But yet we have nobody backing them up somehow.
We didn't attack them. We attacked them.
And why
and now
did
the
China
media
come out and say that they should be nicer to their neighbors?
Who?
You
What?
saw
Huh?
that, right?
Say
China
that
came out and said Iran needs to stop fucking around and stop fucking with their
Oh,
neighbors.
hell yeah. Oh yeah, because
After
they're
we bombed
destroying
them.
the oil market. Because they're destroying the oil infrastructure. This is now a global crisis.
All right, I get
And
it.
they're attacking their neighbors. Okay? Because they're basically said, you want to screw us, you want to take our oil, you think you're going to take our oil, we're going to destroy all the oil in the region, and we're going to hold the world hostage, and you can't do a damn thing about it. That's basically the tit for tat bullshit show that's going on now. Okay. And of course, China is upset with that because this is threatening to China. This is threatening. Russia's the only one really benefiting because oil over $100 a barrel is screwing the $40 or $50 cap on barrel that the sanctions apply. Now, Trump's talking to Russia about lifting sanctions on certain European oil, and the European Union is getting all up in arms and saying, no. And Iran is freaking out. I mean, not Iran. Ukraine is freaking out because all the interceptors are going to Israel. The neighbors are freaking out. UAE, Saudi Arabia, they're not getting interceptors. They're all going to Israel, and we're pulling them in from South Korea and other places like that. Now North Korea is going, ooh, what's happening? You guys are not going to have any Patriots or THAAD systems because all the ones, 50% of your THAADs in the Middle East have been destroyed. Okay. The reality is this one ain't as easy as pie. And people that are throwing that rhetoric out there, okay, you need to be careful because that can push us further into a conflict. And if we have an opportunity to end this, we need to end it because this is going to be our sons and daughters going over there to fight in the Zagros Mountains. You don't want that.
I guarantee that's not going to happen.
I hope to God it doesn't happen. They're talking, the 82nd Airborne is already on alert deployment. So.
All right. We're going on to another topic here as we change around, get back in domestic stuff over here. The Dallas Express News, H-1B visa employment data hub goes dark. The USCIS database companies, which are hiring these H-1B visas, it all goes offline. They can't find any of the info, so it's kind of disappearing here. This also happened around the same time when the FBI showed up over in Arizona. There seems to be some backhand stuff going on over there. I don't know if this has anything to do with the identity of the illegal immigrants in here, and they paused that for a quick little thing. I'm not entirely sure, but this is something that's kind of interesting to pay attention to, is some of the things that I'm looking into. And then this goes on top of the White House tells the House GOP to avoid mass deportation ahead of the midterms. When's the last time anybody's seen any of the weird hair color women driving around chasing ICE agents lately? I haven't seen Tom Homan on any of the news feeds whatsoever. So at this point, what I'm hearing coming in from deportations and looking at the numbers, instead of doing 200,000 or 300,000 in a month that they want for mass deportations, it's a few thousand here. The first couple of weeks coming into this month, it's like 900 deportations. Not the 20 or 30,000 or anything like that, So we've seen the fallout go from, obviously, shootings going out on the streets and the crazy people chasing the deputies around as they go and arrest these people. It seems like what I'm hearing is the deals have been made that when these illegal immigrants commit crimes and then they're put into prison, not jail, prison, then they will be notified over to Homeland Security, ICE, the whole thing, and they're going to go through the procedures themselves. And if anybody's learned the lesson from the Democratic Party in these Democratic cities, that's one thing they don't prosecute as criminals, and they let them go. They hardly ever end up in jail. So just things to pay attention to. This is kind of things that I'm hearing, but anybody's got contradicting information saying the mass deportations are still going on. Don't get me wrong. I still got reports that, Border Patrol rescuing women, kids, child trafficking, drugs, that stuff is still there. But this mass deportation centers and them peeling back these large assets of them buying land to convert into deportation centers, a lot of that stuff has been peeled back, and I don't see any movement on any of those properties themselves. Anybody got anything else they want to talk about on this particular deal, or am I just crazy?
Like almost overnight, it was gone, like poof. Isn't that interesting? But again, it could be, like you said, they kind of pulled it back. But I don't really agree with the thing that they shouldn't be going after the people until they get arrested. I mean, if you got hardened criminals that already have, removal orders and they have multiple crimes, like, go after them. I don't give a crap. But what about, people being paid in the streets? Like, that's to be expected.
I'm glad you said that, because that actually is my question on this whole thing. So, we had the crap in Minnesota, we had the issue with ICE and all that jazz, and then they scaled back. They realized this is bad PR. This is going to be bad for us politically. We got to be careful. Democrats are going to use this ammo against us in the midterms, right, or in the elections. So, but the case that we just talked about with this is the former Army National Guard guy, or this guy, the guy from Sierra Leone. Okay, we supposedly were picking up people that had criminal offenses that had, were not U.S. naturalized citizens, and we were deporting them. Now, most of them were Hispanic peoples of South American, Central American, etc. At least that's the impression I got from the news reports that were coming out. Are there cases where we're actually going after the people that I would call them naturalized citizens from Afghanistan or from Syria or from Somalia, etc., in places like Ilhan Omar's district, where they are also potentially criminal violations and have either residency or naturalized citizenship? Wouldn't they be eligible for being returned? Or is there an issue because of the country they came from and the potential repression or whatever that they might get, that we can't return them? I'm wondering. That's an open question I have, because some of these people, that would help resolve some of the potential risk of these terror cells.
In the end, I don't know what they're going to do with it. I mean, if they have terror cells, they need to be apprehended and then cordoned off from the rest of the general public itself. Whether they're returned back to their country of origin or not, we see how well that worked out for most of the 9/11 people over in Gitmo. They're pretty much all the way back to home. There's still a few people there left, but I'm just saying, history is showing our track record that we don't really punish a whole lot of these terrorists.
The Republicans can turn this around, is I guess maybe the political angle of this, to use the terror cell issue to then make the case for having stronger immigration control and stronger deportation processing.
Exactly.
That is a good point too, but you know as well as I do, right? Like, you'll pull it out and be like, hey, like, we need to pull these people out of here because you see what happens with the terrorists, but like, the other side is still going to pay a bunch of jerk-offs to come out and do the same thing anyways, right? It is a good point, but it's like, oh.
They're going to...
Another thing that I ran by, just to point this out, obviously ICE and Homeland Security are still rescuing kids, and that operation hasn't changed. Huge operation in Southern California a few days ago. So they're still moving, they're still doing stuff. So the investigation and the really bad guys are gone. But I think the day-to-day streets of show me your papers and those type of things are pretty much gone here at this point. Also, it shows President Trump is cutting off Ecuador Ecuador is cutting off Cuba because the FBI decided to go and open up an office in Ecuador to help out with the terrorists that they're having in the countries and alike down there. It's the first time they've ever opened one. And it seems like Cuba is getting the short end of the stick, and they're obviously still running into issues and rioting and no power, no fuel, and those sort of things. They're waiting for Cuba to basically fall apart. But that's not happening here at this point. But Ecuador's making some changes here to basically open up an FBI field office in another country. Yay. Maybe they compete with the CIA, maybe. What else do we got for you here? What else did Trump say? Talking about South America going on here. Let's throw this out here because I thought this was interesting. You guys still here, right?
Yep.
Come on, refresh for me. As my computer decides to take a dump.
Hey, everybody's got to go. It's a natural function.
No, that page didn't want to come back, did it? Really? All right, we'll keep going.
What was the headline though? What did he?
It was him saying basically, if Mexico doesn't want to do its job, we can go ahead and put a missile right through the cartel's bedroom if they want. So basically, Scheinbaum has been told, if you don't act and continue to do this de-escalation with your cartel members and terrorist organization, the United States is going to start blowing shit up like we did in Iran. I'm just saying. So that's going on. This also came out here. A Doge engineer allegedly walked out of the Social Security Administration with personal data of more than 500 million living and dead Americans on a thumb drive. Reportedly planned to share it with his private employer. So he had everything out there, and of course the FBI and everybody else picked him up. This is the guy that we talked about like over a year ago. That ran into these particular problems, and of course, it's going to give me another whirly bird.
Maybe he's
here.
like Robin Hood. Maybe we're going to get those $5,000 Doge checks. That's where all the money went. That's where all the information.
We still haven't seen that.
I was going to go. How is that any different than Palantir Anthropic? It's all just available. On
we have those computers in our pockets. They have it all.
Pay those that $14.99 to look up anybody.
My stupid Edge is going to crash on me.
It's all at Arc Raiders.
Let me get rid of some of these over here. See if this helps out.
Like half of those Hulk and then click on the rest.
Well, it's thinking on it. I should have restarted the browser before the show came up.
You got like a top of the line.
Well, this is on the same laptop that Space Shot has. It's just Edge doesn't.
One. We do the same.
You have an i something or other, i7. We got an i9. Close enough.
Oh, brag.
Nah.
It's cold outside. What do you want?
Come on, give it to me.
He's RAM constrained.
Yeah, dude, you got that Sierra Leone
there it goes.
RAM, dude.
You know what you should do? You should sanction me. Sanction me with your army. Oh, wait a minute. You don't have an army. I guess that means you need to shut. That's what I do if I had no army. I would shut the.
AI is getting really out of control. Let's get back into stories. We're here. We got into
they're gonna
this
have
one.
him ride the little coin-operated horse.
Yeah, those I never look away from. Those are nice. Those are I've never seen the movie either. I don't know what that movie comes from.
I don't remember off the top of my head. And this is him saying, "We'll put a missile right through the cartel's boss living room if you want." So that's Trump coming out and saying that. That was our crazy dude right there. Let's see if we get the rest of our stories out here. SAVAC is still not happening. They said they were going to get to it this week, and stuff got in the way and whatever. We're going to try it for next week is what we're looking for. But it did get leaked. The Blaze Media and the rest of the group out here, and Elon Musk decided to go ahead and leak his office number over here to get him to pass that bill. So you only had about 200 million people try to call and tell Senator Thune to go ahead and get rid of the filibuster, and let's go back to talking filibuster and go in for the vote itself. So
you know how he got the phone number for Thune?
No.
From that guy from Doge.
From what?
The guy from Doge that had the list of everybody.
That would be ironic. So yeah. Yeah, but again, let's get these guys out here because
Yes, but their bill isn't voter ID, number one. It is about voter registration. It makes it allows ICE to kick tens of millions of people off the rolls, and they don't tell them until election day. And you show up and you say, you're not registered anymore. You're not registered here. You're not on.
Yeah, because, the women and their maiden names, and if they get married, they have to show all this extra paperwork to get done. But it's okay to bring the Islamic terrorists right in, no paperwork, no whatsoever, right through TSA. No, we're not going to check any of your bombing underwear or any of that fun jazz. It's okay, come on in. So let's do the Schumer real version of what he thinks it should be.
Schumer shuffle.
All these illegal Mexicans voting for us, okay? All these Pepes and Panchitos. If only American citizens vote, Democrats are fucked. If Republicans pass the Save America Act, we will never win another election ever again. No one's going to vote for us with all the retarded shit we've been pushing for years. So we can't let them take these illegal Mexicans off the voter rolls, okay? Comprende?
That guy on the left, man, he had some bounce to him there.
That's Rubio's
That's this
cousin.
guy.
Yeah, he's great.
That's Rubio's cousin? What?
No, completely made it up.
Okay, good, because that fact check would have been awesome. Just saying. Let's see what good old Lurch has to say about the whole situation.
Do you have time for a quick question on the Save America Act?
I agree. I've been very front and center on it. I'm not sure what the agenda is. Now, if they have a serious conversation, that's just provide basic ID to vote. Somebody that could support that.
Okay, and what is it about the current legislation that you have a problem with? Because you did support it before.
Because it has no chance of passing. Okay. So, put up something that has a chance to maybe even pass, unless you just want empty kind of show votes. If they want that, that's their prerogative. I'll be a reasonable Democrat to say showing ID to vote. That's 83% of Americans agree with that. 71% of Democrats do. Make sure that you want to know who people are voting. Regular ID, that's something I might get behind, not all the other things. So if you want a show vote, you'll get it, and then it has no chance of passing.
Do you think that if we implemented the talking filibuster, that it would have a better chance of passing?
No, I've been very clear about that. If they want to be serious about it, do it. Otherwise, you'll get your show vote that has no chance of passing. Do you want to make it, sir? You want to make it more secure and do it the right way that have a chance of passing. Otherwise, it's just bad performance art.
Thank you, Senator. Do you have time for?
Is he trying to indicate that Thune is putting up a bill that really has no chance of passing intentionally?
Or that they're adding a whole bunch of stuff into the bill itself, like women don't play in men's sports, and a couple of the other things in Save the America Act, because it's just not voter ID and all that. It's got some other things in there. So they're saying all the other bullshit you're throwing in there is not going to get voted on. You throw up a voter ID bill, I guarantee everybody's going to support it. But after that, you start adding in all the shit in afterwards, they're going to all fight with each other. So
political games are being played.
Pass that, pass the SAVE Act, make it a voting thing on its face, right? And then once we win the elections, because they can't be cheating like crazy anymore, then you start changing the laws. And do it. That was just really throwing me a little bit. It's like he was recording his conversation with her. I didn't know if he was reading or somebody was reading something off of him, but as he was talking, you could see the words that he was saying going on his phone. I don't know if he hit the button to record and recorded his text as he went, or if he was getting a message along the way. It just seemed a little weird to me.
It's going to get interesting. So if we saw the side shuffle go away from the mass deportations and then to focus on Senator Thune and voting ID and getting the SAVE Act passed of some sort to institute the elections, then I could see the play of that working out that way if illegal immigrants are not allowed to vote in the next election cycle. We'll see how that turns out.
Needs to be a government issued ID. I mean, the banks are being so restrictive now on any kind of digital asset or money transfer and doing anything with the bank. If they can do it, then we should be able to do it. A government issued ID. I heard that they're talking about just some form of photo identification. No, you're your Blockbuster card, it ain't gonna work.
Well, yeah, Cornyn. So there's this whole thing where they're playing with Cornyn and Paxton out there, because when it came down to them two leading, because they spent like $85 million in the Senate race. That's not even the final race, because they're going to have to do this all again against Paxton. Paxton did 4. So is this deal going on with the deal between these two that Trump hasn't endorsed either one of them because he wants one of them to step down? And if Cornyn stays in and then Thune passes the SAVE Act and Cornyn votes for it, we get it in there, that might be an option they're playing, or what? That's about the only thing I can think of how Trump's not basically endorsing either one of these guys if he's trying to press Thune to pass the SAVE Act. What do you want? I want Cornyn. Okay, we'll get rid of Paxton. You see what I'm saying? Deals always have to be made.
Yeah, but and that would make sense between Thune and Cornyn. But Cornyn is he's a rhino. This is the guy that I would run against if he gets back in. I promise you today, I will run against him next time.
You will run against him yourself. Where was the other part of my election stuff that I have it right here? And we'll just keep going. Since it is past the March deadline over here, DOT, Sean Duffy has announced that the federal government is revoking federal funding for California, Minnesota, and Washington for the English language proficiency, so for the commercial driver's license. So right now, California's in a panic. They're not sure exactly what to do with, they think it's the 14,000 driver's license that fall underneath the non-domicile heading out there, because the federal government's like, if it says there, it doesn't have an address, they're out. So they're panicking right now, trying to figure out what they're going to do here in California very shortly. So that is happening. Oh yeah. And, in 2021, Joe Biden became the first president in history to deny this predecessor, Donald Trump, an executive privilege assertion related to the January 6th committee demanding by thousands of presidential records. Well, again, Trump did the exact same thing to Biden and allowed some of the information to get over to the powers that be. So some of that stuff is coming out, and that's what Julie Kelly is talking about today. That Trump didn't say executive privilege for the previous president, leave it all alone. So he's thrown Biden underneath the bus. What they're going to do with it, I don't know. What else we're going to get into here?
And more coming, too.
Oh, yeah. So here, Space Shot, read that for everybody.
Certainly. Jonathan Turley, there is a major free speech victory out of the Ninth Circuit, which just vacated the order of District Judge David O. Carter, who had ruled against a child punished for declaring, quote, all lives matter in the California school system. Ooh, school's principal. You want me to keep going?
Yeah, one more.
School's principal, Jesus Becerra, any relation to Javier, punished the child, including a 2-week suspension from recess, and demanded that she apologize. Judge Carter, an Obama appointee, ruled in favor of the school in an outrageous denial of free speech rights. And
one more.
Child BB was represented by the Pacific League Foundation and has now secured a major win for all school children in exercising their free speech. The panel ruled that this right exists even for the very young. We hold that the age of students is a relevant factor, blah, 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 blah. Hulk, is this the one that the girl gave, like a white girl gave like a black girl something, and then the black girl didn't even have a problem with it, but yet the teacher or school still did?
Well, she was wearing a T-shirt that says "All Lives Matter," and they said that goes against school policy, even though that some people there were on the same day wearing Black Lives Matter attire.
It's so freaking disgusting and hypocritical. Well,
here, read this one. As long as we're talking about this, read this one.
California Torrey Pines principal Rob Capo resigns after Amy Reichert, exposed this. A student suspended for a "We Love Ice" sign while, quote, your mom's a hoe if your ice shirt got a pass. Capo doubled down, and he's now he's out just 8 days since the first post. Everyone sees the double standard now. That is crazy, dude.
So California's having some problems. This hasn't been challenged in any of the courts or anything like that. The guy did step down, but we love ice, but your mom's a hoe if your ice got a pass. So just how California thinks, just want to throw some of that little bullshit that's out there.
What's wrong with your mom being a garden implement? I don't understand.
A backhoe.
Here's another one. Todd Blanche over here says DC Bar is such blatantly Democrat-run political organization. Thank God I'm not a member. Trust me, I never will be. DC Bar Council has initiated formal disciplinary proceedings against Ed Martin. Yeah, the guy that was supposed to go up over the auto pen and the pardons and all those sort of things. So basically, they started to go after him for misuse of government positions and blah, blah, blah. So that's going down over there. So they're fighting back and forth. And, we obviously haven't seen any movement in any of these guys over here doing anything from the DOJ, FBI, or anything. So here at this point, kind of everything's on a holding pattern. But I did go check over and see what Ed Martin was talking about. Tron, would you read those for me?
Boom time true. The spying operations codenamed Crossfire Hurricane Round River Plasmic Echo and Arctic Frost spied on Donald Trump and his closest aides.
So, yeah, a whole bunch of other operations that nobody knew about what they were called. They're out there. So not sure what Eagle Ed Martin's doing over there at the DOJ or whatnot, or if the deputy director of the FBI is paying attention. It seems like something big is going on as we're rolling up here through a couple of these other stories. Just little things to pay attention to. What the hell is Plasmic Echo? I'd really like to know what that is.
But you know what I know Arctic Frost is the deal with the fake electors, where they were doing the fake electors investigation. And
we know Crossfire Hurricane, which is Russia, but Round River and Plasmic Echo.
No, these are all new. This is what John Solomon said is coming out in the next, I think it was yesterday or the day before. He said it'll be coming out in the next 10 days. You'll start getting this stuff released. And these are new names.
Heard that a bunch of times.
Round River,
that's where they
Plasmic
went
Echo.
raided.
Yeah, but we
Plasmic Echo is the name of the internal name of the op, where they went to go raid his files because they suspected him of taking classified defense documentation and hiding it down there at Mar-a-Lago and whatever.
It could be. What else we're going to get into? A couple of things over here with Cash and the rest of them. We are going to get just a minute of this.
How did Cash find him?
Whistleblowers in most cases. Yeah, whistleblower agents coming up saying, "Hey, boss, you don't know this, but when you weren't our boss, we were looking at your phone records." And I think some of these whistleblowers went to Congress, like to Chuck Grassley, Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman. Some came to Kash Patel, and he has some senior executives. Some of his top executives around him now were aware of these things, and so they're helping him find these things in these hidden files that are called prohibited access files. So it's taken 13, 14 months for the current director to find what's in his own agency.
This is a dumb question, John. Maybe you can help me out here. So the FBI has all these investigations going on. Don't they have to report to Congress at all?
No, I don't. Remember all the times that Chuck Grassley said I had oversight letters and no one ever answered me? The first FBI director to really start turning over this information is Kash Patel. He made that promise. He lived up to it. But even he didn't know, until just a few weeks ago, he had never heard of Round River. Just think about that. A sensitive investigation involving Hunter Biden and President Trump and the Ukraine scandal, and the FBI director doesn't learn about it almost his first year in office is over. That's the sort of secrecy that these investigations have. So Congress, they were in the dark for a long time.
Round River with Biden and the whole Ukraine thing. So just interesting things coming out. Obviously, the burn bags and the amount of information they're pulling out of there in these, because obviously we have general FBI storage information. Then they have kind of their secret stuff. But what's coming out here, they found a whole nother level that was basically passed off by the word of mouth from one FBI director to the next, saying, "Hey, we got all this shit over here hidden. You should definitely keep it underneath the rug and don't tell anybody about it and keep it off all the records itself." That information is coming out.
They had enough information to put Hunter Biden away 10 times over, and they buried it. Absolutely buried it.
But they're talking about this whole other level of information above anything else that Cash and the rest of the guys, Dan Bongino, even saw. So a whole nother layer is kept out of the loop is what they're referencing here. What else do we got? This other John Solomon clip we need to get to because this is the important one.
And Democrat who went together and went to the Rdoc Center and saw something that they found in their own words, not my words, their words, alarming. that you had active ballots that were filled out sitting alongside of blank ballots. That is as Harmeet Dillon said on the show last night, that is ludicrous. That should never happen. And so they took pictures of it. They had eyes on confirmation. It was enough that Brian Stile made sure the FBI knew about it as the chairman of the House Administration Committee. It is that sort of stuff that makes people nervous. And listen, it may just be incompetence. It may have been good intentioned people doing bad things. But when you get a visual like that, and by the way, this report has visuals in it, you can literally see paper. I also believe the congressional observers took video footage. And I think that video footage, if it becomes public, will be eye-opening to people, because you can hear the Democrat and Republican saying, what the heck, what's going on here? I think that that's the sort of thing, because the story in Maricopa County is everybody is a conspiracy theorist and everything is perfect here. And those pictures are probably going to show something imperfect. Doesn't mean it's illegal, doesn't mean it's foreign, nefarious. We don't know enough yet. But getting to those sort of failures, hiccups, mistakes, whatever they are, is an important part to curing the system. Harmeet was sitting right alongside of me last night. She was an observer in Maricopa County in 2024 as a private lawyer working for the Republican Party. She said she observed things that would make your eyes roll to the back of your head. That is the sort of data we need to get to the senators and to the members of Congress, to the American people, because they've been force-fed this thing that our system is perfect. It's still a great system, but it is far from perfect. So they fear the idea that incompetence and incongruities are going to be exposed. Next week or in the week after, I think by the end of this month, Steve, we'll get the second component of this. A lot of people don't know this because we don't cover this, but in London, there was a major scandal about a year ago when the British government acknowledged that China hacked into voter data systems and got the voter identities of many British citizens. Great Britain was enormously alarmed. I think the American public will soon get a sense of alarm about issues like that, things that our CIA and our DNI and our FBI and our HSI have known about for years. And I think that's the part of HSI being on the ground and elsewhere that they're beginning to look at, which is were their voter identities stolen by a foreign power that in the future, present or past, have been used for influence or measures, and our government has kept silent about it. I think John Ratcliffe, Tulsi Gabbard, Kash Patel, Harmeet Dillon are going to be able to educate the public when these declassifications finally occur. And we're going to look a lot more like Great Britain, which is we should be alarmed. And by the way, we can fix this.
So if everybody remembers,
the dirty little secret is both party establishments don't want it fixed. That's the dirty little secret.
So if everybody remembers when, I guess, Tulsi Gabbard was the one down in Arizona and they were talking about the election issues over there in Maricopa County out there, and they were talking about taking the ballots that were there and all the issues they were running into, that actually didn't happen. The FBI went to the the Senate Republicans over, the president of the Senate itself, and asked him, and he turned over the information in Arizona. So the Senate president turned over the information to the FBI, bypassing everybody else in the chain of command. So if you were paying attention to what's going on over there, our good guy over here was talking about the response from from Arizona over here. And of course, they're totally worried about confidentiality and voting rolls and personal information, and you shouldn't have it. And the Secretary of State and Katie Hobbs, the governor over there, are trying to stop this from happening and allow the Senate to allow the information, which has already been given to the FBI, to even look at any more information. And if you're going to answer another subpoena from law enforcement, you got to tell us first. And they're like, nope, we're not going to tell you shit, is what's basically going on down there. So we got Secretary of State and the governor of Arizona absolutely freaking out right now because they already got all the data out of Maricopa County and they're looking for a little bit more. So this is good things that are happening out there.
That's very good. And kind of to Rdoc's point, like, oh, John Solomon, we need to bring this to Congress and Senate. No, you don't need to, because they're not going to do crap about it. You need to bring it and make it outrage for the American people. And we as Americans need to be more outraged about a lot more things.
Yep. And what else?
It's going to take some sort of executive fiat that then Congress eventually has to go along with because public support so far behind it, of a system that's created and pushed out like they tried to do back during Trump's first term with the Postal Service and the creation of a new election system, completely different. When you have little places like Ukraine and the Donbass, and they are able to go around door to door and verify everybody's signature and everybody's presence and vote, or places like Afghanistan where they do the thumbprint that are more secure, it says something about your elections, bro.
Arizona came out with a report recently. In the last couple of years, they were working on some of the numbers, and they went back 20 years and realized it's about 100,000 over there. Were allowed to vote for 2 decades that weren't showing any proof of citizenship, and we're not even sure they're part of our counting. So sorry, oops. So that's just the 100,000 they're talking about in this recent deal of the people living inside Arizona are coming out. Not counting all the stuff that they found in the last 20. So we'll see what the FBI and the rest of the guys come together and sees what's going on here. Also, to put it in there, DOJ is moving toward a Smartmatic bribery case. Remember, this is down in Florida. So they're moving forward. This one's out of the Philippines from the elections in 2016 that they took down a couple of the big guys down there. So a federal grand jury in Florida returned indictment today charging 3 executives of voting machines and services provider company and former chairman of the Commission of Election Boards, COMELEC, of the Republic of the Philippines, and their roles in allegedly bribery and money laundering. So let's see if they get around a little bit more of this and get to the American side of the system, because if everybody remembers, Dominion was sold to another company just recently. When was that, a year ago? It was after the election, right? Am I remembering that right?
So was it Runback Minion, Runback ESNS? And I just can't remember off the top of my head.
Yep. All right. Couple of other little key pieces you want to throw in here. Remember Carrie Lake down in Arizona, and a Voice for America, an 82-year-old judge, DC judge, just erased Carrie Lake's entire tenure and says, you got to put everything back. Put it back the way it was and hire all the people back. So, yeah, good luck on that. See how that's going to go together when they've already ripped it apart. But that's happening as these judges are still making these decisions in other areas. What else do we got for you? Okay, yeah, here is our oil side that we want to spend a little time with over here, which was full right before Biden took office. And then he used that oil for the next 2.5, 3 years to make sure the oil prices stayed low enough and depleted our petroleum reserves to pretty much the lowest it's been.
Why did he do that? Why did he do that? Because remember inflation? Inflation? Yep. Oh, no, there's no inflation. That's because he kept
the Green New Deal
cost artificially low. Well, the Green New Deal didn't really go into effect. I mean, it affected markets, but no, it
put the screws on the oil markets from producing new energies and all that, and restricted a lot of the stuff they wanted to do.
Yeah, everything.
When we cut Russian, participation in the marketplace, and all that money and all that demand and all those supplies were all in juxtaposition and conflict, and the price spiked, and Russia was making more money than they did before the sanctions went into effect. And then they tried to do the cap. You remember the original cap, and that failed. And they tried to get China and India and everybody to stop buying Russian oil. Well, the supply issue and demand issue in the United States caused a problem over here as well as in Europe and elsewhere. And so this is the way Biden kept inflation artificially low, by dumping our oil, which we bought very cheaply on the market at a much higher price, to the strategic reserve, but he depleted it. He depleted it bad. We reported on it back then. And we dumped 172 million barrels, or we're getting ready to dump 172 million barrels now to do the same thing. That's what was announced today.
Yep. So that's happening there. What else was out there?
So we'll go back to the chart. So the price of oil reached about 118 Brent crude. In some parts of the world, the price, I think, went above 120, but West Texas Intermediate hovered, around that 119 a barrel. It's got it on there. And so Trump initiated a phone call to Putin, And then the readout came out, and the readout was pushed around, and that affected world markets almost immediately. And because the readout mentioned that it was a positive call, that they discussed removing sanctions. That was what Trump's readout, Trump's side said. And the price immediately dropped from that 118, 119, 115 a barrel down to 85, like whew, within an hour, 45 minutes. Okay. Then an hour after that, Peskov comes out, the spokesman for the Kremlin, and he says, "Excuse me, we didn't talk about releasing sanctions at all. What are you talking about? This was never discussed." And the price went back up to 99 today. So it went up to 95, and then it went up to 99. And so basically the word is and Trump's own words was that that price has got to be kept under $100 a barrel for the midterms to be successful.
I agree with that.
But they are saying ain't going to happen, and we could see potentially $250 a barrel oil if this thing continues the way it looks like.
We'll see. We're going to find out.
Just to understand, the 172 million. So Italy released strategic reserves, 9 million barrels. Germany released some yesterday, I think 36 million. And I can't remember. There's another country that also released, maybe UK. And all of that combined is about 15% of the daily need. So what the daily production was that was coming out of the Middle East that moved around the world, all those strategic reserves equals about 15% of that. You're talking about I think the number was $1.1 billion of oil a day is being lost in the marketplace. And we're 12 days into this thing. It adds up really fast. Huh? It's so the storage capacity in the Middle East is reaching max. A lot of places already maxed out, and some of the places have been bombed and hit, and so that oil's burning or is burned out already. Fujairah has been hit multiple times, and the attacks keep coming. Somebody hit Oman just yesterday, one of the refineries in Oman, and Iran said, "We didn't hit Oman. What are you talking about? It wasn't us." Usually Iran is the first to claim that they're hitting somebody. But in this case, they said, "We deny that we hit Oman." That could be a political issue. We don't know. But Oman was hit the other day, and that's a major hit. And Iraq was hit very hard today.
All right. Let me finish up my last couple of stories, and I'll kick it to you because there's some other things I want to get into. I thought this was interesting. Tron, read that. You there?
Yeah, Punxsutawney Phil sees 0 more years of Summers. Summers to resign from teaching appointments, relinquish university professorship over Epstein ties, and Punxsutawney Phil takes us back to one of the greatest movies, Groundhog Day. Shout out Bill Murray in the chat. Let's go.
I had to go fact check that.
Is that how you spell it?
I don't think that's correct.
Well,
it's supposed to be Punxsutawney. I don't think that's the correct way.
Yeah, let's keep going out there. Why Trump wasn't involved with Epstein? All the people gazing Maxwell. Trump was not involved. We got Dershowitz. Epstein had nothing on Trump. What else do we got? Gerfrey's lawyer, David Boies. Trump was not involved, and Trump was never got a massage from Michael Witkoff. So I guess they weren't in the room at the time. And Bill.
The end of the month. Bill even said, he's like, "I hate to say this, but he's clean. He's cleaner than a whistle, cleaner than I was back before Monica."
When I was in the hot tub,
saliva.
So here, Epstein, his accountant, is now the 5th witness to tell the committee that President Trump was not involved. He also identified 5 Epstein clients who paid millions in fees: Lex Wessner, Glenn Dubin, Steven Sierkowski, the Rothschilds, and Leon Black. Yay! As we go into here, what else do we got here for you guys?
Supposed to be getting Lutnick to come in to testify also.
Yeah.
Here, read that one for everybody, Mr. Space Shot.
Yesterday, law enforcement investigators were seen searching the Zorro Ranch property in New Mexico. State police, search and rescue, and police dogs were reportedly present.
It's been like 10 years. It's too late.
Yeah, why would you have?
They're going back.
Looking
This
for
is way
animal.
too late.
You're looking for remains. That's why you would have dogs.
Well, that's what the mafia does when they bury someone in a newly constructed area. They have to go back and dig up the body, allegedly.
Yeah, they're looking for the whole medical research system that's underneath this Zorro
I thought he
Epstein
had
Ranch.
pigs. I thought that was the deal with these guys, is that they were using pigs to consume the body.
You got to use
All
the
that
boars.
stuff, we researched all that
The
stuff.
wild pigs are worse, is what I heard.
That's the movie Snatch. It leaves the teeth. The wild pigs. The pigs.
They poop the teeth out. Okay.
Yes, the movie Snatch. That is Madonna's husband, Guy Ritchie. Good movie. Funny.
So just to point out that as long as cops are swarming Jeffrey Epstein's ranch over here, hundreds of rallies at Epstein's victims at Zorro's Ranch on International Women's Day. They all decided to show up over here and have a little party and
That's
sing.
Antifa. This is what happens when Antifa runs out of progress. They save the children. They go to Zorro Ranch. They weren't there 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 15 years ago.
I know, dude. What the hell, dude, is going on there? They're there now. They care now. Yeah, there's more of them standing in a ditch and those sort of things. So, yeah. It actually did happen. I'm surprised all those people did show up over there. They want to interview the Epstein prison guard. What that's going to do, I don't know. Nobody wants to interview any of the people they traffic the kids to. Don't talk to any of those guys, but let's talk about the Epstein guards and the rest of that. So that's happening out there. They're trying to get those people in there. So, yeah, good luck, Coomer and the rest of the guys. New York Giants co-owner Steve Tisch is giving up control of the team after his close ties with convicted Epstein offender. And it says Tisch and his two siblings have asked the NFL if they can transfer the ownership to their children. So, yay.
This is so strange. Isn't this weird, guys? Like, we didn't even hear about this, and all of a sudden they're just taking themselves out. Like,
Now it's starting to affect. It's starting to. This is what's happened in the UK and elsewhere in Europe now. Starting to happen in the US.
And Doc, maybe that's the plan. Maybe, the international crime circuit is going to happen in other countries as opposed to America. Maybe America's judicial system's too corrupt, and maybe someone in the EU or some other foreign nation will actually prosecute these people. This is great. It's good.
Supposedly, Israelis. The word is that the Israelis have compromise on a lot of these folks.
Yeah. Oh, well. Anyways, try to read this next one.
Brazilian healer John of God, promoted by Oprah Winfrey as an inspiring figure of spiritual miracles, sentenced to 118 years for sexual rapes. What a sick son of a bitch.
That's it?
That was,
This is
remember,
the space shot one.
he's doing all the same things they were doing over at the Epstein Ranch, doing the kids and all those sort of things where they were basically, baby factory. This guy was doing the same thing and was on Oprah. So,
But who was? Wasn't there a female influencer or somebody that used to talk about that was associated with John of God?
that I'm not sure.
He was on Oprah, but remember his thing. He was a healer, right? But his thing was literally like, "Oh, you need healing? Yeah, drop your drawers." It's like what? Like yeah. So he basically quote healed all these women, but violated them as well. And he was spotlighted very prominently by Miss Oprah Winfrey herself.
Let me lay my hands on you.
Another big story you should be paying attention to, and I don't know how it's exactly going to end, because the Ticketmaster deal with Rock Nation and Live Nation, they're basically coming out under discovery saying that we're screwing the American public. We don't care. I feel really bad for charging $250 for VIP parking, but who cares? They're going to pay for it anyways. And also like to put together that Rock Nation is under the Jay-Z moniker that's tied into this thing. So basically they're calling a big giant monopoly out here. And if anybody remembers Nicki Minaj out there, who's talking about all the corruption and the deaths that fall into Rock Nation, has spoken up. And right after that, the court stuff got all paused and everybody's asking questions of what they're going to do next. So this thing is getting a lot bigger than most people think with this Rock Nation and the amount of money that they're putting in through. This is the stuff that Kid Rock was talking about. But again, this is Jay-Z, Rock Nation, all the deaths, influencing all the artists. So it's getting pretty bad over there.
It's the Rock, Hulk. Rockefeller, y'all. Remember the Rock came from, they used to call themselves Rockefeller.
Yeah.
It's the Rock.
Yeah, there was Nicki Minaj talking about all the problems with that. And so Obama opened up his presidential library right here. Anybody got any comments on that? The Quality Learning Center? I'm just saying, it makes sense to me.
Look at the solar panels on the top. There's like very little.
That's the best place for leering in the state of Illinois.
So we do have pictures of the inside too. This is pictures officially from the inside right here. One of the displays. Print your own birth certificate?
And guys,
No
Boss
problem.
had that early on, way before 2015, 2016, the birth certificate. And then they gave it to us in layers, Photoshop layers. If you took the file and brought it into Photoshop, it would show you the layers where they replace stuff. These people are stupid.
Yeah, exactly. And I think we'll throw this out here for everybody. Anybody need a American 250 Indy car?
1, 2, 3, go.
Well, that's what it looks like right there.
Sexy.
Street
Look at that. Oh, wow.
Hell yeah.
What do you think, Secretary?
Probably weighs like.
Well, what does the
1,200
course look like? Let's go find out what the course. So that is.
Alicia, what do you think?
That is the course right there. How they're going to run this entire operation down Pennsylvania.
Yeah, if you're going to visit DC, this might be the day to do it on. That might be fun.
I think this is.
I don't know exactly when they're doing this. I think this is after the 4th of July stuff. I think it's in August or something like that. But make sure that you weld the manhole covers down because Ferrari found that out in Vegas on the first run. They ruined one of their cars. So
It's a long straightaway down Pennsylvania Avenue, man.
exactly. And we got the $250 or big dollar. I don't even know if this is what this is. These are just fake
They already
ads
got me for
rolling.
the NFT and the shoes. I'm not going to do any more. That's it.
Really
You
like a
got me.
$2 one. That's actually real. It's a $2 one, but
$200 shoes.
Yeah, that 250 Grand Prix is, you're correct, August 22, August 23.
Damn. So 2 days. So that would be pretty cool. You ready, Mr. Rdoc?
Yeah, I'm not really going to talk about anything additional except I show some pictures of some stuff that's going on over there.
Yeah. Okay, let me stop sharing.
I got a very good Rumble wallet that you guys might want to look at.
Waiting for you to share screen over there. Let me go look over here.
Scroll down to the bottom if you don't. Excuse me.
I got a Rumble wallet. Yes. Would you like to do that one, sir?
I certainly would like to, sir.
Let me get back to my profile. Okay, accepting over there, right side.
Boom, 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 boom.
Break for 30 seconds.
Love that. All right, guys, here's a little inside scoop that many creators are talking about behind the scenes. It's actually one of the reasons I'm using Rumble. They made a way to super chat creators so we get paid immediately and without any fees. YouTube and Twitch take up to 50% of the fees when you tip creators, and this method takes none. That's right, the platform takes 0 fees. I keep 100% of what you send me. You can super chat with Bitcoin, Tether USD, or even Tether Gold stablecoins. The tip will show up directly in the Rumble chat, which I'll do my best to read. Of course I will. All you guys need to do is download the Rumble wallet on the App Store and send the tips to your favorite creators. You can also head over to wallet.rumble.com, or you can download the app directly from the App Store. Seriously, what an amazing way to get rid of the middleman and help the creator economy. Shout out to Rumble for making this disruptive technology. Boom.
Break for 30 seconds.
Rdoc, will you just show clips of that movie too?
Yeah, thank you, Chad. I appreciate you guys. Much love. Make sure you smash the thumbs up and leave a comment in the video and in the live chat out there, please, as we get into Rdoc's side.
And Rdoc, if you would just allow me just 1 second to thank Mr. Swick, who did gift a subscription to the channel, so I wanted to thank that. And I know somebody had sent me some coffees the other day. I will get that towards the end of the show. Thank you very mucho.
Are you talking about career opportunities?
Yeah. Why don't you auto hide your taskbar, Mr. Rdoc, by the way?
Which this what you're talking about, or this down here? Which one?
Yeah, you can auto hide that taskbar.
It is supposed to be auto hidden. I don't know.
It
why
never
it's
works
popped
for me anyways. Mine hovers and then disappears.
Anyway, okay.
And dark mode would be awesome, but
Okay, my God.
There is only one candidate who is strong enough to run Iran for us. Welcome. Very glad to be here. This is totally surreal and I like it. Tell me why you want the job. Well, I do think of myself already as a supreme leader. You really are. Very strongly. Millions of people already consider you a sign of God. But what if they're protesting Iran again? Why would that happen? Well, didn't we say they should? Well, if they do it against you, they'll be very ungrateful, radical lunatics, won't they? Sure will. Anyway, just do what I'm telling you and everything will be great. Do what you tell me. Yeah, that's right. What do you think I'm some kind of Delsi? Ayatollah T answers to nobody. Well, I'm not taking any fatwas from you. Or maybe you should have thought of that before you asked me to take the job. Hello?
Hello, Donald.
How's it going with the regime change? Yeah, the new guy, he's gonna be very hard for us to work with. There is only one candidate who is...
Sorry, Ayatollah T. I'm not taking any fatwas from you.
Ain't taking no fatwas from you, pal.
We found that earlier. We were laughing about it earlier. Okay, I really don't have anything prepped for today because there's not that much going on except this thing called Iran here. And we kind of already talked about it and we kind of gave our opinions and stuff of what's going on here. What I wanted to kind of show is some interesting stuff that is happening that may or may not be covered. I'm not sure there in the States. So here is some attacks that occurred today and today in the port structure of Iraq. Okay, I don't know if you can see that or not. This is the results of attacks by small marine drones packed with explosives, similar to the kind that Ukraine was using, but this is being done by the Iranian
by boats,
side.
Right?
Well, they're basically unmanned marine vessels, basically marine drones. They're unmanned craft, and so
they're non-flying. They're watercraft, correct?
This watercraft. Now we saw evidence of that in the very first week, and I can't remember if we talked about it not last week, but the week before or not. But I had something lined up for the show because they did attack another tanker over here. It was the video showed a waterline attack and the fact that it was a marine drone. Now we're getting 11 to 15 attacks that have happened with these marine drones in this region. And what analysts are saying is that this is practice. They're practicing here with their marine drones, and that these drones are mass produced already and have been in production for several years now, and that they are all along the coast in hidden bunkers, and that they will be. So our fleet, just to kind of give you a perspective, we have one of the carrier groups is not going to be transiting the Red Sea through the Gulf of Oman into the Gulf of Aden into the Arabian Sea. So that's the aircraft carrier Ford. They had a fire on board today, supposedly not due to any kind of attack, but there's very little information coming out about it.
I heard the laundry room caught on fire.
Yeah, that's very typical, but they're not going to be transiting and leaving as originally mentioned to go join the other carrier attack groups here. Okay, now these vessels are being kept offshore, out of range of missiles and other types of attacks intentionally. Okay, and the concern is that some of these fast attack boats and these unmanned drones, in combination with aerial and ballistic missile attacks in wave type attacks that we saw, similar to what Ukraine was doing in Russia with the Russian fleet here in the Black Sea, could be done here. Now, some of our vessels have CWIS, we have helicopter patrols, and we have other types of interceptors and things like that. But some of the problem with these small unmanned drones, marine drones, these little tiny boats, they don't show up on any kind of radar, and they can only be picked up with visual scanning. And so the ways that the Russians have used to defeat these is using helicopter and visual scanning, and they have very low heat signatures because they're built in a way that the engine heat is masked by the canopy. They're using materials that disguise the engine, so infrared doesn't work very well. And so line of sight, is the only way to really defeat these Marine drones effectively, is basically what's going on. So these could be a threat, and our military is taking it very, very seriously. Now, to give you a perspective of what these things, some of these drones, so we have hit a lot of vessels, mine-laying ships that attempted to go out there, these catamaran-looking vessels that you've seen. Those are fast attack missile boats and other mine-laying vessels that we have seen blown out of the water in videos. We hit their drone carrier. We hit the ship, of course, way down here in by India or wherever it was. Way over here. That was doing the ceremony. We destroyed that ship that was unarmed with a submarine torpedo attack that you guys saw last week, I'm sure.
What
But
kind of engines on those things,
video,
Rdoc, you think?
I don't know the engine types, but they're intentionally designed to go very fast, and they're small crews. And now this is just a machine gun, but they have variants of these things that have a single missile, a single anti-ship type missile with enough explosives to put a hole in the side. You remember what was that, Cole, the USS Cole? That was an Exocet missile. Okay, it's like an Exocet on a boat. The boats are used. You throw 50 of these things out there, and one might get through, or two might get through, or something like that, but it's enough to cause havoc. So just to kind of get an idea of, this is one of an estimated 1,000 underground bunkers all along the coastline. That is, we don't know where they all are. No, it's.
I mean,
unfortunately not. No, but so back there you saw some of these mines. I just wanted to show you some of these mines here. See if we can get a picture.
So
these are
Rdoc,
mines.
Would they just use that boat like a kamikaze, essentially, just throw it right into it, right? Like you're not going to launch it from the boat, right?
Those boats in that video are manned vessels, but the unmanned vessels, what you do is you could have, like what we saw the Ukrainians doing, is they have aerial drones, they have ballistic missiles, they have HIMARS, they have some cruise missiles, and then they are using the unmanned drones also, and they do this combined attack when they know where certain targets are. And so the Chinese are definitely giving them satellite image technology. So they're feeding the Iranians. And
I thought it was Russia. They told us it was Russia that was doing it.
The Chinese are the ones sharing.
But
Russia
our news is only mentioning it's Russia. Russia's doing it. Only Russia.
Now the Chinese, as a matter of fact, the Chinese released even some of the satellite images publicly, of our bases, and showing before and after photos, just like we were doing with the Russians on the Ukrainian stuff. So, but speaking of what the Russians are doing, and this is breaking news today. So first we'll talk about the Ukrainian side. So Ukraine is sending their defense drone units, actual units, not just a few personnel that are the NATO guys that have been over there teaching Ukrainians how to do drones, but they're sending the entire units, which is difficult for Ukraine because Ukraine needs them. These are drone defense guys. They're going and redeploying to the Middle East. Where they're going to redeploy, we don't know, but that is news today. Also, and this is bigger news because it gives you an indication that something is brewing. There is chatter all over the units' Telegram channels, the actual units themselves, of these FPV drone operator crews. So every division in Ukraine has their own FPV drone crews and specialists, and there's thousands of them now that have been trained to fly these little FPV drones that might go 5 kilometers at the most. Maybe you might get some more bigger drones that go 10 or 15 kilometers, but the FPV drones are for close-in manned suppression, personnel suppression fighting. So you use these drones in a close quarters situation as a first line of battery, if you will, to kind of replace your artillery. This is the way the warfare has developed in the modern warfare, as we've seen play out in Ukraine. And so Ukraine is these units are saying they are redeploying to the Middle East on the behalf of certain countries or the coalition forces or whatever the case might be. I don't want to call it coalition too strongly because it's France, Germany, and the U.S. and maybe some others. We'll see how this one plays out. But that means those guys have to start training people that would be used in some sort of a forward combat operation. So, because you would deploy forces here in this region right here along the Hormuz, the Straits of Hormuz, that's what this is here. And this area has to be secured in order to allow passage of vessels. There are no vessels moving back and forth. There have been a couple that have tried to break through. Iran has destroyed them. Okay. They're getting wiped out. As a matter of fact, the Iranians are basically saying you try to get through. Supposedly, only Chinese vessels are allowed to pass, according to the Wall Street Journal, which has an article here somewhere. Yeah, I can't remember where I did with it. Yeah, it's see Navy. Anyway, the Wall Street Journal has a story that supposedly only the Chinese vessels. Here it is. Maybe this is it. Yeah, Iran is exporting more oil to the Strait of Hormuz than before the war, and according to the Wall Street Journal, the Chinese vessels are leaving, and it's a lot more than they were even exporting before. Well, that's not true. This article is wrong, false. Nothing is transiting. They may be loading Chinese ships, and we specifically are not attacking the Karg Island. This is our forces. This little island right here accounts for 90% of the exports of Iran's oil, and it is literally a island full of oil storage, production, terminaling, and I don't know if there's refining operations with a small airfield. And we have not hit this at all. Why? We want to take it intact. We want to take this intact. But if we take this intact, we better damn well make sure the Chinese don't mess with us, because this is China oil here on this island. And so this is a sensitive area, and you're not going to see that in the news more than likely. You might see some analysts and some people talking about it online, but you're probably not going to see your media talking to you about this specific island and why we haven't attacked that. But this is critical Iranian oil infrastructure, and we haven't touched it at all. Okay. As a matter of fact, to kind of show you, if I expand this thing out from we
didn't know that island was there.
Yeah,
that's a natural island.
A natural island, yeah. It's very, very important. So we'll extend this from here to there. Okay, actually, we'll go back even further. We'll go back to February 18, and then we'll go to March 13. Okay, and we should be able to see the attacks here, or maybe not. Maybe it's not showing the attacks very well. What you're gonna, yeah, you can kind of see a picture of the attacks. Here we go. So here's Iran. We'll back this up a little bit. You notice where the concentration of the attacks are taking place in this northwestern area and along the coastal area. Okay, very few attacks are happening in this region whatsoever. This is India, Pakistan, or Afghanistan and Pakistan, whatever. Very little attacks here in this region. Okay. Why? Okay. This is something you should be asking because when you see these media reports. Why? Well, the Iranians have lots of forces here. They have underground bunkers, thousands of them, with missiles and drones. Their ballistic missile forces that we've been hitting, we've said we've destroyed, are coming out. And we're destroying some vehicles that are carrying ballistic missiles, and we're hitting them when we see them, and some of them are dummy targets. By the way, the Chinese have supplied the Iranians over the last 20 years with these inflatable look-alike helicopters and missile trucks and everything like that actually are painted with a substance or made with a substance that specifically reacts with our targeting systems to make it look like a real target. It is pretty cool, actually. Didn't even know that existed. So there's no attacks here, But there are Iranian forces here, Iranian assets here, and lots of them. Okay, so this whole area is like Afghanistan. Okay, the mountainous regions with a lot of hidden bunkers. So just to understand that. Okay, what is happening in the region though is pretty significant. The UAE has been hit, and just the other day, Fujairah was hit. And this is one of the major terminaling and storage facilities for all this oil that is coming, not just from Russia, but from around the world. This terminaling and storage facility in Fujairah is huge, and it is one of the major loading and offloading and storage facilities in the entire world. And Fujairah is basically nearing capacity. There's nowhere to put the oil anymore. And these vessels are literally sitting offshore all up and down this little area and all up and down this little area, and very few trafficking in this area, maybe one or two. You might see one or two going this way for some reason. Now, I'm not sure what those vessels are. I haven't looked at it into detail. But UAE got nailed today. Just to fast forward it back to today, get dates back. So
Rdoc,
just the
UAE and
Wait.
like Saudi Arabia, they're like buddies, good buddies.
Yeah, hold on a second. Let me get this date right because it's always finicky. The United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia share some common heritage and bloodlines. I guess I'll put it that way. But their histories are a little different. The Emiratis are very different structure than the Al Saud family and where the Al Saud dynasty comes from. But they're rich Arabs that basically post World War II or pre World War II, their families kind of came into power, maybe the way of saying it. But Abu Dhabi has been hit, which is kind of like a religious, it's very strict there. And has been hit, and and Dubai has been hit very hard. There was estimated to be only 10 days of food left, just about 6 or 7 days ago. So India airlifted some food in, some fresh vegetables and fresh fruits in. The water situation is also dire. Why is the water situation dire? Because we hit a desalination plant in Iran. And we claimed, we destroyed their infrastructure. Okay. Iran relies on desalination water for its entire country, less than 3%. Most of the water comes from well or other sources. And the desalination is relied on in some of these regions here, 85%. In Israel, it's like 83%. And so Iran said, you hit our desalination plants, we will hit the desalination plants for the entire region. Now, Iran has also said that they will not come to the negotiating table as requested by the United States. They have instead placed their demands on all the parties in the region. And they've said that if you, a Middle Eastern country or neighbor, remove your Israeli ambassador, kick them out, and you prevent or kick out the U.S. or any other NATO type ally from using your territory to strike at Iran, we will stop striking you. And some countries are starting to have this discussion with Iran. Qatar is one of them. But the Qatari base, our Fifth Fleet naval base in Bahrain and in Doha and places, has been absolutely destroyed. These two places, Bahrain and Qatar, have been whacked hard. So the ballistic missile defense attack capability, offensive capability of Iran is absolutely still happening. Not as many as the first couple of days, but neither are we launching as many attacks into that direction either. Both sides' attacks are becoming more careful, more strategic, more looking for targets and trying to identify targets. What has happened today or the last 2 days, one, we hit the banking center in Tehran. And as a result of that, Iran said, guess what? We're going to start hitting your banking centers throughout the Middle Eastern region. So not only that, but they also, I think, said that they were going to start hitting the facilities that are these are multi-billion-dollar facilities for NVIDIA. For they already hit an Amazon, but there's a lot of tech companies that are all throughout the Middle Eastern region. And then we also said that we're going to start attacking their electricity. That was what Donald Trump said. We can take out their electricity in like 5 hours if we want to. Okay. Well, the statement from Rdoc was, okay, go ahead, and the lights will go out for the entire region. So basically, they're going to attack the entire region's electricity system. So the whole region, you want to do this, we're going to push back and do it back to your allies in the region and these other partners. But right now, the real issue is the stranglehold on the oil here. And the only way to release this stranglehold at the present time, and this is just a reality, folks, is if you control this land. There were talks at one point in time, and I was going to discuss this last week, that we were going to use the Kurds here. Now, Armenia is a big ally of ours. Azerbaijan, we've been trying to win them over from Russia. They're very close to Russia still. A lot of folks here speak Russian. Now, the Azeris, they got attacked by a drone. And also the Kurds got hit. Now the Kurds are militia. This is Syria. This is Turkey, and this is Syria here. Now the Kurdistan, what they want to build is Kurdistan, and Turkey says we don't want Kurdistan. Erdogan and the Turks have destroyed the Kurds here and here and here and here, and there's a large Kurdish population here. They want their own state. They've wanted their own state for a long time. Okay. And we won't give it to them. And we abandoned the Kurds in Syria that we were supporting. We had our bases up here, and we were protecting the oil and preventing the the Iranian guard from coming across this area and fighting in Syria against ISIS. They're fighting ISIS all the time. ISIS and Iran do not get along. Okay. So basically what has happened here is we were trying to get an operation together to get the Kurds to mobilize a ground offensive initially, supported by our CIA operations teams and other special operators, to push in from the north. And the same thing with the Azeris. We're trying to get Azerbaijan to do the same thing, to push in as well. And we've tried to get Turkey to do the same thing. And there have been some attacks into Turkey that may be false flag attacks, actually, because Turkey is a NATO ally. So we got to keep a close eye on this region. Right now, the Kurds have said no. We will not do this. And Donald Trump had to come out and kind of say, well, we may not use the Kurds. Okay. Well, that's because they got whacked hard by Iran, and they have been threatened by Turkey. And then Israel had to threaten Turkey. And their leaders in Israel have said publicly, Turkey's next. Now, they've made those threats against Turkey early on to make them play ball and to not mess up their plans that they were working with the Kurds. But it didn't work anyway, and so the Kurds are not going to attack at this time. Now, maybe something will happen later. So then there is no offensive operation that is being considered in this region on public statements. Behind the scenes, this is being planned, regamed, and we're trying to pull Iraq into this, but Iraq doesn't want to go into war with Iran again. They've had enough of that stuff in the past. And so now the question is, who do we get to put boots on the ground to make sure this region is secured? Because unless and until this region is absolutely secured, you cannot get this reopened. And that is just a fact. And so if anybody's sitting there telling you that we are not planning for a ground operation or ground offensive to take this territory, then they are lying to you. Those plans are active and ongoing, and we are looking for a way. because there is no other way to reopen this strait. This thing will not end in 3 to 5 weeks. This thing will not end in possibly months. And that's just a reality, folks. And I'm sorry, we want to believe otherwise. We desperately want to believe otherwise, and yeah, it's not going to happen. Elsewhere in the world, back in Ukraine, there is a situation with energy crisis around the world. These blue lines represent the energy system, if you will. The Ukrainians are freaking out because Donald Trump's talking with Putin about energy, and Fico and Orban have sanctioned Ukraine and said we're not going to agree to the 90 billion loan that the European Union kleptocrats want to give to you to keep the Ukrainian money corruption machine going, and until you free up the Druzhba pipeline and provide the oil that is promised. And Ukraine has basically said no. Instead, Ukraine attacked one of their mixing terminals that feeds into this pipeline, into the Druzhba, the friendship pipeline. And then on top of that, the Ukrainians have launched cruise missile strikes and others down here into Sochi and another region here where the Turk Stream pipeline that feeds energy into Turkey and then into the European Union. So Ukraine is trying to stir the pot on the energy crisis too and say, look at me, give me attention. If you don't give me attention and give me more money and give me more interceptor missiles, then we could have an energy crisis also here. You're not going to get Russia. You're not going to give Russia oil money to keep the war going against us just because you're suffering a little bit in your pocketbook here. That's basically what Zelensky is doing right now. And Orban and Fico are saying, we're not going to give you 90 billion of our taxpayer dollars until you allow our people that are suffering to receive the energy that we're paying for. Okay, so that's the game that's going on right now. Meanwhile, on the ground in the territory, the Russians keep advancing, but some interesting things have developed. And I think you can see a couple pictures here. So this is Tula. I'd have to go back in other days, but somewhere in this region here, and then also in Volgograd region, the Ukrainians launched Storm Shadow missiles. Now they claimed, and our media claimed, they were Flamingo missiles, but one of the missiles did not explode. It was shot down. Actually, many of the missiles were shot down, but one in particular, and they have been able to show that it is actually a United Kingdom Storm Shadow missile that was launched deep into the territory of Russia, even though there was a ban from Biden that Trump carried over that said NATO forces cannot use their missiles to shoot into the territory of old Russia, only into the territory of Ukraine and in close proximity. So deep missile strikes are on the table again, supposedly, and that means NATO has to provide targeting, approval, active duty military personnel to make the missile fly. These are not Ukrainian Flamingo missiles. These are Storm Shadow UK NATO missiles. Okay, so that's really the big stuff that's going on here. There's some other stuff that's happening in the EU, but basically the real issue is everybody's freaking out about global energy prices. This is hitting the economies of Europe very, very hard. So you want to talk, Space Shot and I have talked about, is there a bigger plan here to take down the deep state in Europe through this crisis? Possibly. This is popcorn eating time for Rdoc. Rdoc sitting back here and watching this stuff. I'm not happy that we've started something here because me personally, I have a military age son that I don't want to see have to go here and die. And that's something that I would hate to see happen. I promised my daughter that if she voted for Donald J. Trump, that we would not be in a war in Iran.
This isn't war, Doc, and your son's not going to get drafted. That's fake news. There's no draft if you're referring to that. Or...
We don't know what we don't know. Okay. Part of analysis is we have to consider, I know that, but you know what? Neither was this thing dragging out 4, 5, 6 weeks. They thought this was going to be over in a week.
They think that, or they think that. That's what I'm saying.
How are we going to know when war is going to end? How are we the people going to pinpoint that, Doc? It's war. This is unconventional.
That is
we don't know that.
so now what you've touched on is what the media is actively attacking the Trump administration about, which is what is the objective, what is the plan. The bars keep moving as to what we're doing and how will we know when we have victory. Do you guys remember the announcement that we won that George Bush did on that damn aircraft carrier, or was it a battleship? I mean, that is the PR spin that we got during the last time we were over here and sending our troops in here, that Trump pulled out. Okay, Trump pulled us out. Remember? Okay. Now and so the other day he was was it today or yesterday? He was in Kentucky and he was doing the rally. And this was, I think, his first rally and kind of political speech since the conflict in Iran started. And he called it an excursion. It's just short. I had to make a little short excursion to deal with some very evil people. Okay, it's short. And then he did his little hand thing. Okay, because that's how Trump sells things. He's a salesman when you get down to it. And then he says, because everybody's going to applaud, and how about that military? And everybody said, yay, military, because that's his PR team telling him this is how you're going to sell this to the American people. Okay, because now we're in it. It's just an excursion. That's the new agenda code word to call this thing an excursion. Okay?
Did you hear who he had at the rally?
Who was that?
Nicholas Sandman and Jake Paul.
And supposedly bagged on Massey or something. I don't know. Whatever.
Massey's a piece of shit, and he deserves to be bagged on. Anyone that's against our president and this movement in 2026 needs to be looked at a hardcore microscope and a telescope, all of it, microscopic. It's MAGA or nothing, Doc. I'm sorry. Massey is a piece of shit. DeSantis didn't work out, and it's almost like you don't, I wish the old Doc can talk to the new Doc. I love you. I love your analysis, Doc. I love it. But Massey is a rhino piece of shit.
What has Rdoc always said?
Yeah, who let the dogma out? Who let the dogma out? Rdoc. Rdoc. Who let the dogma out?
First of all, Occam's razor. Okay, that's first analysis. Okay, all this stuff, Q, everything has been and always was a psyop. You must never ever forget that. Who's psyop? You still don't know. Who's participating in it and who are actively participating in it still? We are. We've all been letting our biases to some degree or another carry us to where we want to go. That's you can't deny that because we're human beings. Intelligence
and we weren't going to buy the Democratic Party version of the other side of politics. So
we don't want to.
I mean, we have a two-party system. So in the end, we see information in different versions is what I'm saying.
Let me finish the point because that's the point. Unbiased intelligence analysis says you must consider all the possibilities and assess likelihood, even if you don't like the outcome, even if you don't like the possibility, you have to consider it. And to ignore that this thing 3 weeks from now, 4 weeks from now, 3 months from now could still be going on is something that you have to consider. You can't just say, no, it will never happen because MAGA. You can't do that and say that you are doing unbiased analysis. Your bias is that you want our president and our savior to absolutely be right. We want to believe, we want to have faith, we want it so badly. We have been lied to in the past, and the deep state has 6 ways from Sunday, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? I don't care about any of that stuff because in the end, it is you in the moment, you yourself who consciously decides, am I going to choose in this moment of space-time, this amazing gift of life we have, to be selfish or selfless? And everything else in the grand scheme of things plays and flows, and in the end, God wins. And that is where your eyes should be. In all these little wars and rumors of wars and political machinations that are going on and controlling and attempting to control and manipulate consciousness, in the end, it comes down to you, yourself, and what you do in the moment. And that is the Rdoc angle. That's really where I'm at. And so do I sometimes let my worry and my care about my son or my daughter? Sure, because I'm human and I fight against that just like everybody else. Do I worry that some Jewish conspiracy group might be entangling our president into some things that maybe we don't want to happen? Sure. Is there a potential that there is a bigger plan in play that is designed to take down these deep state? I can tell you that the discussions I have is that no, there's a fight going on amongst forces that are not playing for the map today. They're playing for the map after 2046 as to who is going to be the winner of the rest of the population that's left for the next civilization to restart. That's a much bigger, deeper Rdoc discussion that you'll never hear on this show because we don't have 9 hours to go through that. So there you go.
But
That's
we pray,
final word of the day.
we pray for
Right.
discernment. And, you know, I think I always come from the thought process is the glass half empty or half full. You can look at it any way you want to. It might be a full cup of shit in that cup, and we're all going to have to take a drink for it. But the way I always try to focus on the positive side, because we do see changes in humanity and things every day in America. I mean, there's still a lot of bad things that happen, but you know, coming from Tim Walz and the cackle lady having a presidency with Ilhan Omar in the background.
If Harris and Omar, this war would have been on like Donkey Kong.
But I'm just saying the alternatives that we were handed and the direction that we are going right now. I feel in a far better positive way that we are going. I'm still concerned about the Palantir and the AI and obviously all the war and all that stuff, digital ID. I think there's no way to avoid it. But again, we don't know what's going to happen. And we look and we hope for the best is what we're really hoping for here in the end of this message. So that's the way I like to put it. Maybe Space Shot would like to say something.
Go ahead, dude.
I would. Rdoc, well, only thing I'm trying to tell you, and as I've been trying to convey to you, I do want to hear your side of things. And I texted this to you earlier. I said, I think you probably get me wrong. I actually do want to hear what you think, but the difference is it's almost like the passion you're putting behind it is like, you know, Trump is fucking everybody, and everything on the other side is just you guys are being fucked over, and that's from my perspective how I see it, and a lot of people do see that. So I'm just saying
I agree with that, a little bit of that.
Part of the issue is because I have people that I talk to. I'm sorry, I want to answer that if I can, because that was kind of like a direct challenge. Part of the issue is that I have people that I talk to that are talking to people in his administration on a regular basis, okay? And I get insights that say, it ain't all what you're seeing. There's a show side of what you're seeing.
None of this is new for any of us in this podcast or the listening audience. Understand that 100%. We understand the kabuki theater type of thing. You know what I mean? It's the message. You know what I mean? We know it's a shit sandwich.
We have banged on Bush, on Biden, on Obama, on other leaders when they go out and lie to the public, when they go out and say things that are blatantly not true, okay? And we get upset about that. Should we ignore it just because he's our guy?
Well, we didn't go to a war with Iraq and waste a bunch of money over there. or just coming out of the 9/11 scenario itself. But yeah, I get what you're saying. You know what I mean?
So people have to use discernment, exactly what you said. Never live in fear. Wars and rumors of war. And always pray, 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 dig, meme, and pray. I mean, there's nothing new here. There's nothing new here.
Yeah, it seems like it's the same recycled bullshit. And I mean, it's good to pay attention to it. We always got to see both sides. And that's what the show's always been about, because we all have different thought processes, the way we process information and the way that the stories come together. Each one of us has a fine point of bringing that information forward. And there's, just like in science, the 10th man out. It's always got to think opposite. If it's a possibility, you could think it. It could be a possibility. I get that side. And there are percentages out there that Rdoc looks at that are outside of any one of ours perception that are seeing those tidbits come together on a world stage. We will understand a lot more. I'm saying understand a lot more once we get closer to the end of Trump's presidency, because we're looking at Mount Everest of corruption and the amount of control and the power, because it's always been there. It's never changed. It's basically who's driving the bus that we're looking at. Is this bus going to end up, dropping off and we're going to see the golden era of America? Maybe. Is it going to be maybe more of the same and Trump's going to go away and nothing ever changed and we're still playing the same game? Then who cares? In the end,
Donald Trump is going to China in April, early April, and Secretary Besant has already started his team with advanced talks, and their goal is to basically tell China, stop buying Russian oil. I mean, he said this last week, and I was going to report on this last week. Okay, Iran and this whole situation with the chokehold on 90% of the oil, which goes to China, is a strategic leverage card with dealing with China. Okay. And so this is something to focus on when that meeting happens, and we'll see if this meeting is still going to happen. This is going to be something that we're going to have to pay close attention to. How will the global oil situation and the situation in Iran be at that point in time when he's talking with Xi? Okay. And what's happening with Russia, in that all this money is potentially pumping into Russia now. Does that force Europe and Ukraine to settle the shit now? Okay. Is this strategically some of the actions going on? And with Cuba, there's definitely an attack on BRICS. Remember, zones of control and spheres of influence. This is everybody's playing for their piece of the pie before a security umbrella is tagged on it, and we live that way for the next 150, 200 years, whatever the
Look at
case
you,
might
Jared
be.
Kushner.
Yeah. Anyway, so I just wanted to throw that out there because China is coming up, and that's something everybody can also put into their analysis. Okay.
All right. How much longer you got to roll on this?
I'm done.
Oh, sweet. So again, we always appreciate your information, bro. Don't ever think that that's never the case itself. Some people take it as a negative. Some people like your analysis. You know what I mean? But me, I like hearing it. You know what I mean? Because we know there's problems in the world and you can't hide from it.
I don't really necessarily care if people are upset in the chat. I've been that way when we had 25,000 concurrent viewers. Okay. The issue is that if you're not thinking about everything, our favorite guy, Hulkinator, in North Dakota, radio personality.
Dennis.
Dennis.
Yeah.
Yeah. When he had me on the show and he asked, Inferno. We used to talk about this all the time. I mean, part of a good
possibilities
psyop and everything like that is the way it is. But when you get into the analysis on intelligence and what our intelligence people do, okay, that are on the collection and analysis side, you have to make sure you have to do. There's actually built-in processes that attempt to remove bias from the analysis, from the human intelligence, from the signals intelligence, to remove human bias. And even after all those processes, it still finds a way to creep in when the message is delivered up to the political side, which would include a Brennan or a Ratcliffe or even a Donald Trump. Unfortunately, intelligence and how it's used by the political class is how we built our system. And we as users, receivers of that information, and as we, the people, are digging and memeing and praying, and we're digging into our stuff in the hive mind, we run across stuff that's wrong and fake and false all the time. And one of the things that was beautiful about the hive mind is when we clash all that stuff together and it shakes out, and you start getting into the pieces that are the outliers and that you can kind of put by the wayside, and you start getting into that consensus mass that says, okay, this is likely where something concrete, you can't use the word truth because truth is actually a false thing. It doesn't really exist. Okay. But something that is concrete and more likely than not to be something you can rely on for decision-making purposes. That's my final thought. I'll leave
Comment from chat over here from K Young says, you guys, this is why I love this show. Your show show both sides. We don't see this every day. And that's true 100%. You know what I mean? So again, we appreciate you guys hanging out with us tonight. Hope you enjoyed it. Did you smash the thumbs up button? Leave a comment. If you're watching on repeat, put a comment down at the bottom. Tell us what you think, what you liked about the whole show itself. All those little comments help out with the algorithm itself. I guess we're going to go through our final thoughts. We already got Rdoc out there. Appreciate you, brother. Tron, your turn.
Awesome. And that's right, Doc. I mean, at the end of the day, God wins. And all those out there listening that, you might be new for a few weeks, you might be new for a few years. Doc has never, ever changed. I'll tell you that. I mean, Gold Star Mom, all you guys, Tweedle, all you guys from old school PN News. Doc makes you think. Doc makes you go 40,000 foot. And again, the have faith, be encouraged. That came from Doc back in the day. And we always have to look 40,000 foot. Donald Trump is not our savior. That is the man up above, the real boss. And we're going to continue to dig him and pray. And eye on the prize, Patriots. Eyes on the prize. We have a lot of enemies attracting us and attacking us. And the closer we get to truth, the closer we get to freedom, the closer we get to our goal, whatever that might be. It constantly changes, and that's okay. The closer we get, the harder they're going to fight back. And again, power in numbers, guys. Look at where we were 4 years ago, 8 years ago, 12 years ago. I didn't think we had a chance before Donald Trump came to the stage. And I am 1,000%, you guys know this, a Donald Trump loyalist. I love the man, and this is an amazing time to be alive. And I'm taking each day as just a blessing, Patriots. So again, thank you for joining us, and thank you, Doc. Thank you, Space Shot. Thank you, Hulk, for another great show. Keep on thinking, keep on observing, and keep on spreading the truth. And most importantly, guys, love. Love, love, love. Do it in your communities, do it in your families, and do it at the local level. We only have so much control, and together we are unstoppable. You guys know that. Thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow night for Friday Funnies. We'll see you Saturday for the Saturday Wheel Show. Thank you, Linda, on the coffee. Greatly appreciated. Thank you, Swickley, and thank you guys for your support. And most importantly, thank you guys for the love and the prayers moving forward, because we're going to need it, guys. Our president needs us 1,000% behind us, and no more counter messaging. We got to keep our eye on the prize. Love each and every one of you. Have faith, be encouraged, dig him and pray. And where we go one, we go all, baby. Let's go.
Thank you, Tron. It is much appreciated. Mr. Space Shot, final thoughts for you, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah, absolutely. Great show, guys. Good debate is always the thing. And, we shouldn't ever go off any, one side of the, off any side of the bridge, full far left, full far right, or any opinion on either side. So always want to thank everybody for tuning in here. And of course, we love our brother Doc. And I want to thank this person from the other day, because I just hadn't gotten. This was March 9th. Cindy had sent over 5 iced coffees, so said I try to tune in as often as I can. So, but I appreciate you sending that one over as well. Yeah, I mean, I think things are going to get exponentially. I think they're going to get a little bit more crazy until they kind of settle down. I think that's to be expected. They're going to kind of ramp up as we go here. So I'm very excited to see, what the next shoe to drop is, or what the next development is. So, of course, we'll just have to wait till. See what tomorrow brings, and tomorrow should be Friday, right? Or it is Friday now. It just turned midnight, so a lot of historically we've had a lot of developments and stories that drop on a Friday. So we'll see what happens over here, Hulk. So yeah, I don't know if am I saying my thank yous and my farewells now to country and the folks over there.
Yeah, I want to say to Reno gal out there in chat says Rdoc is the free professor.
Free.
Good to see you, Reno Gal. Yes, you can go and do your thank yous right now. That'd be absolutely great.
Alrighty then. Yeah, over here on D Live, we got Patriot Chick and my Saint Cosmic Dildo and Rdoc are the top 3 contributors. That always gets a laugh from everybody, and I always love that. So I'm distributing those rewards. They're coming at you in 29, 28, 27, and counting. And Mr. Swick had sent over a gifted subscription earlier, so I do appreciate that, brother. And we do have something in the works we're going to bust out this weekend sometime from Mr. Swick. Very interesting. And just as I'm saying that, G. Westbury says, you're not done here. Here's a $10 Rumble rant and says, good debate, healthy debate. So thank you very much for that, Mr. G. Westbury. Don't want to gender you there incorrectly, but thank you very much there. And yeah, I'll be back live with Ghost tomorrow at noon. So we'll see you guys there. Booms.
Yeah, and if you thought this was a crazy show, you should listen to us play video games.
And I can't. If I didn't say, I may have already again. But again, thank you to the mods. Always appreciate your help. Very selfless help. My button's getting pushed there.
Uh-oh, somebody's pushing your buttons.
Somebody's pushing his button.
But it was me.
I want to give a big thank you for the Pill group out there. Sean Joe with a cookie, Lizzie B with a cookie, One Thunder with a cookie, Sean Joe with another cookie, Mia Taus with a can, Sean Joe with a cookie, with another cookie, Good Dog 45 throwing can around. Schwicky gifted the 1776 gold pills. That's pretty awesome. I like that particular number. Sean Joe with another cookie, and Tanette Booth with a cookie. We'll go ahead and fire off the scratch-ins over there for all you guys. And I got more stuff for, actually, Space Shot's got Saturday show, is what I heard through the thing. So he's going to set up the whole show and all that. I can sprinkle in some funnies out there. And he's also picking the intro song. I'm thoroughly impressed to figure out what he's going to be coming in with. He's got it. I might sprinkle some funnies. I might not. I do have some set aside in case he fails. I mean, I don't want him to fall and be totally embarrassed out there. But I'll come in just like Space Shot with my coffee and hang out and have a great time, dude. I'm really looking forward to it.
That was a challenge, Rdoc. He's like, yeah, I set up the show. I said, I'll set the show up Saturday, and he was like, wait, I don't know what to do because I gotta control it. But all right, I'll let him do it.
I was okay with it. I'll go for it. I didn't argue one bit.
There was a dramatic pause.
That's a little Rdoc creeping into Hulk.
Go for it. Have fun.
He didn't know what to think of it for the first 3 seconds, and he went, what? Oh, okay.
I was thinking how many more minutes I get of sleeping that I don't have to get up and prep a show before 8:30.
Oh, yeah, it'll be, and that's the thing. It'll be 15 minutes for the show, and Space Shot's just waking up. What are you talking about?
That's the other problem. But ringing him and he's not answering the phone. He's sleeping, and then it's the Hulk and not Space Shot show.
Oh wait, yeah,
it can go any way you're looking at it.
And this is something I would love to address with you and everybody here. And Dal likes to throw in the little digs now. Oh, I wonder if he's going to be late. Hey, Dal, show me the last time I was late to a show when I wasn't working 40 hours. Putting out 5 videos a friggin' week, staying up till 4 a.m. every single time. Have I missed a day or been late since I've not been working my day job? I would say no. Thank you.
I would like to back you up on there that you've never been late for a Thursday show, and unless you're doing something with the family. But
you guys thought I
have
was.
fallen asleep on the couch, ready for a show for the Hulk and Space Shot show, Hulk and not Space Shot show. At least 5 or 6 times I can remember.
Yeah, but that's been a while though, hasn't it?
Yeah, when's the last time?
That was a long time ago. He was
40 hours a week, Hulk. 40 hours a week, 6-7 videos a week. Since then, negatoire.
I mean, we're talking like 2020.
I don't know if it's been that long. We'd have to go back. I'd have to go do a research into the Hulk and not Space Shot deal out there. Maybe somebody go find it for me.
Somebody go clip it.
Yeah, and then my power went out at Table of Titans, and I would try to hit everybody up on satellite, and they're like, "Oh, you must have been sleeping." I was like, "No, we didn't have power till 10 o'clock."
I remember that was.
All you got to do is go grab the number of times Hulk has had audio issues.
You remember the first time we streamed on Pilled? I came home, sat in front of the computer at 6 o'clock or whatever, and 6:15, we're ready to go talking, and the power went out. And then Rdoc had to stream the show from his computer to Pilled, being the first Foxhole stream ever was by Rdoc under my thing.
I was freaking out.
My first live stream was 28 minutes of a blank screen, but you could hear the audio.
And now the tools are so simple and easy to use. I mean, Tron's putting together awesome shows over there and just amazing content. I mean, it's just what has happened.
You guys were there for me
years.
for our first show. We did it with Leonidas and Chris, and we were on the Zoom call, and those sons of bitches never showed up. And I'm like, what am I going to do? I need an alternative. And you guys came in and saved me for the first Zoom stream. That's when I used to stream from Zoom to YouTube back in the day.
That's
and
right.
here we are. Yeah, remember that? Like all the different ways we had to, figure this out. And here we are, man. Still.
He'll be the first one that like pulls together an AI type show that just is like running stuff automatically, does like the burnt peanut overlays and stuff. I mean, it's good stuff.
Yeah, you need to figure out your Tron and on AI for the burnt peanut side and go wild with the Tron.
Sounds interesting. That's that guy that does the video games and he talks and he does all that stuff, right?
Yeah, and all you see is his eyes and lips.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
He's been doxxed. He's been doxxed now. His face and
He
everything.
bit the annoying orange. The annoying orange had a bit going. There has many millions of subscribers, and this dude did it. And he's like, you know what? I'll put it to video games. But he's actually hilarious.
You guys are funny.
He's
All
like
right,
Family Guy for video games, maybe.
Yeah, so I think we should round this thing up here. So we're pretty much done with all the thank yous hanging out. Hope you guys enjoyed the very end of the show. If you made it to the very end of the show and you're listening to my voice right now, make a comment in the bottom of the video and see if you actually made it there. We'll see how many people we see in the comment section. We'll check those on Saturday. And like Space Shot always says,
we do appreciate each and every one of you wonderful world patriots for tuning in out there. And until that next one, thumbs up, like, and subscribe. Peace.
much love. Be good humans.
Something special is happening in here. That's right, it's brackets and jackets, bringing it back for brackets and jackets. Special Epstein Island edition. That's right, folks, Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein, the man with the island, which is suspiciously close to Haiti. That's right. You see this man, Jeffrey Epstein, is funding lots of people. He's funding lots of people on the street to make sure his shit doesn't get out. That's right. They want the record sealed. And they're paying a lot of people. Epstein's paying a lot of people. Oh, boy. For one, he's got a whole Mossad media matrix in America. And I would bet you anything that Alex Jones is one of them. Prove me wrong. That's right, Cappy's in the portal. Cappy's in the portal. Cappy's in the building with songs about Epstein. It's Breakfast Jacket's Epstein edition. Guys, I had some epiphanies today. I had some real big epiphanies about some guys. A big network of guys and spies and lies and liars. All right, think about this for a minute, okay? The guy in Portland, the scientist that just got busted for producing CP, that guy is 1 degree of separation away from Epstein. Epstein, the investor that lives in West Palm Beach, Florida. I know a guy who lives in West Palm Beach, Florida as well. Investor as well. Also involved as well. And all is not well with these guys. The Florida boys, the Glow boys, the Scott Israels of the world. You see, Epstein is Hillary Clinton. And Epstein is Haiti. And Epstein is a big network of media assets. By the way, did you know that Steve Bannon was going to that guy for money? Also, Epstein is Epstein Oprah. Epstein is Chris Tucker. You remember him. Epstein is also Kevin Spacey. Epstein is also Prince Andrew. Epstein is also... Who else is Epstein? Who else is Epstein? Tell me. You guys know? Who else is Epstein? Is Epstein Big Pharma? Is Epstein Bryan Singer? Is Epstein Naomi Campbell? Yep, all of the above. All of the above. Who is Epstein? Epstein is the keystone of a whole motherfucking matrix. And once you pull it out, it all falls down. Dersh was there too. That's right, we're dropping red pills every day. And red pills in the best kind of way. This is brackets and jackets for the denizens of islands.